Okay, can you hear me at all? You to help us. I want you to help me paint a picture to them about what we are putting in place regarding Nigeria, and what are some of the projects and what are some of the work that we are already doing. Your team and the team you've put together, and what are the kind of thing that I'm telling them that we are going to see a new Nigeria in our lifetime, and that Nigeria is going to be transformed. And this is not just about religion, but we're talking about economic transformation, social transformation, and national development as a whole. And so I was telling them about the team, about your team that that you've been working for over a year now to just make Nigeria work, and that about your commitment to our country and to the continent of Africa as a whole. So, Brother John, please, here you come. You have the word.
I will. You interrupt at any time you wish, Pastor.
Okay.
But I'll describe to you what we have developed as a vision and a plan. And of course, it is all subject to your final agreement once we meet and go over it in detail and in person.
Yes, sir.
But we do see Pastor's summary of the vision as very accurate. That is, we are going to see Nigeria transformed in our lifetimes.
Amen.
And we are going to see the kingdom of God in every one of those 750
local governments
being literally and figuratively what our vision will unfold in the following way if our team in Nigeria agrees with it.
Yes.
We will deploy teams of 2 people each in each of the 7 districts. And they will have the job to take the gospel of Jesus Christ to the people in that district. And it will take them 5 years on the average for each team to reach every person in the district. They will start with the leaders. And once they've shared the gospel, they will turn around and say, we are not here just to talk to you, we are here to help you. And we would like to know how best we can help you, especially in light of what we regard as 5 very important priorities for each and every person in Nigeria. Of course, the first one is to know who Jesus Christ is, and it is through him that this transformation effort is taking place.
Yes.
Whether they agree with us or not is immaterial. Whether they live in Port Harcourt or in the northern provinces, that is of no interest. We will still take the gospel to every leader and every person in the course of this 5-year period. There is a second priority then. We will say we want to help you address or to deal with the most important crises that exist within your area. Are there people who don't have clean water? Are there people who don't have adequate housing or clothing or food to eat, or who need a job, or who are recovering from a disaster or terror wars or conflict of any kind on the civil basis? Or are there people who are displaced and have humanitarian emergencies that must be addressed? If there are, we want to make that our first priority for being of assistance to you. The second priority is that we want to deal with what we call chronic deficits. That is civil conflict, displaced people, corruption, addiction, and other problems. And in order to do so, we not only have monetary assets that we will bring to bear to either build housing or provide food or the other things, but we will also offer training. Everyone wants to do a project to help the people of Nigeria, and that is the most important thing, is to live out Matthew chapter 25, verse 40, where Jesus says, if you do this for the least of these, then you're doing it for me. So we want to reach out to the most needy people first, and then work our way up the chain to those who have economic opportunities and other things that they can offer. And in that training, we will offer an 8-part training program that will take, if, for example, a county executive or a district executive wants to do a new bridge or a new building or a new park in his community, whatever, we will say, we'll let you plan that project, but we also want you to go through the training that we have that relates to this. The training will focus on the 7 important parts of making the kingdom of God a reality in that community. From a biblical world, you stand to God who created heaven and earth. Then from the standpoint of building the economy. Then from the standpoint of improving education for all to receive. Then the needs of the family and what a kingdom of Jesus family looks like. What a kingdom of God government looks like. What a kingdom of God media looks like. And lastly, what a kingdom of God church looks like. The training will cover 497 topics. It'll take 124 hours. So we basically are going to take them for a month and put them through interactive training that acquaints them the why of what we're doing and why we believe Jesus wanted to reach out to them through this effort. Our next priority is to clean up environmental disasters and modernize the infrastructure where we need to build or improve roads or clean up the water in a river, lake, stream, or harbor area, or clean up the air in a community. We want to provide the resources to do that and employ people who will do that work. We want the best for the people of Nigeria in what they all share as communities, rivers, waters, clean air, clean harbors, and beautiful communities. And if we can meet those priorities, and we have money allocated for each one of them, the last priority we'll address is to do economic development projects that are going to produce jobs and employment. There are 13 economic sectors where this work will take place, and each province of Nigeria will have money allocated to it in each of these categories. But they must submit the projects to use that money. And if they don't meet our very difficult, stringent criteria for a project that is best practices on the world standards, sustainable, produces jobs, benefits the people, benefits the community, and will be there 50 years from now, we're going to say work on it some more until it meets those criteria, and when it does, we're ready to underwrite the funding. But we want projects in the agricultural area. We want projects that enrich the culture and history of each community. We want ones that do economic development. We want ones that do education, vocational training, and human capital development. We want ones that develop the energy infrastructure of the country in every community, as well as at the national level. We've actually allocated money at the national level for the national power grid upgrade and for power plant modernization. The next category is environmental cleanup. The next one you'll love, it is healthcare. We want to deliver the best healthcare that Nigeria have ever had. The best hospitals, the best community clinics, the best training for doctors to address the epidemic of cancer head on. We have a company that has a technology for dealing with cancer that if it is accurately diagnosed, that is the location of the cancer is accurately diagnosed, it is 100% effective and is done done on an outpatient basis. It takes less than 4 hours with a follow-up visit in a month to 6 weeks to make sure it's all gone. And we've looked at tragic reports of the incursion of cancer among the people of Nigeria, especially breast cancer for women, which are heart-rending. Literally, when Pastor Sunday and I talked earlier today, I was meeting with his good friend, Bishop Terry Millender, explaining the cancer treatment process and showing him photos of the tragedy of cancer that is untreated and undealt with. We want to transform the health situation, especially in the cancer area and across the board for every one of the 170, 200 Nigerians. The next area of support beyond that is developing the manufacturing sector, where there are existing plants that either can be reopened or modernized. We want to do that. Where there are new plants that are needed that'll produce jobs all throughout country, and we've allocated money for manufacturing to every single province, we want to build those plants. The next area is natural resources development. Where there are natural resources that need to be further developed, we want to invest in doing that with good enterprises, good jobs, and Nigerians controlling their resources, not anybody else. As you know, there is a big battle underway in Nigeria for who controls the oil. There are certain countries from Asia that want to do that. And they're offering loans to Nigeria in exchange for mineral rights. We don't agree with that approach. We offer grants to Nigeria in exchange for Nigerians retaining the mineral rights all through the country. The next area of development that we envision is the rural areas. Farm communities, country roads, internet, all the things that are needed to make the rural areas as healthy economically as the cities are healthy. And the next area is the services sector. We want to train people in the best practices in any one of the service industries so that Nigeria is a model for Africa in what is being done in retail, wholesale trade, and all the many services that are there, and provide good wages for people who work the services sector, and always that takes investment to get to that point. The next area of development is transportation. Every single province will have a budget for building up its transportation infrastructure, developing new roads, new bridges, and other things, in addition to money that's available at the national level for transportation. The last area is urban development. That is the cities, the parks, the government structures, the infrastructure, the things that make the urban areas as appealing as they possibly can on the best standards. County or district of Nigeria. We've done this in other areas in what was the former Soviet Union. Offer the opportunity to the local community to do the things that are needed. They are very responsive. And where communities are not responsive, if we tell them what's going on next door in another community and what the other leaders are doing for their people, they are more interested in helping their own people, because the publicity that's going to the next county over, the next district, is too much for them to bear when their people hear this. And the man seated in that big pink chair will be the best spokesperson for these kinds of progress and changes, so that we can let everyone know this case and encourage it in every one of the 757 districts. Now, there are 3 or 4 projects that are what I'll call national level projects that I'd like to describe to you briefly. And we have these already done in proposal form with our friends who are managing these things, but you should know about them. The first is a data system that all of this information from each of the districts will be put into. And it'll enable us to do what we call a needs assessment. So if somebody wants to come in and build an airport in a district and there's already an airport, we'll expand the current airport, not build a new one, and make it modern and new. But we need a system that will collect the data from all the teams and all the officials and all of the people who want to do projects, so that they can go through a systematic development process on the projects that they want to do. That will be run on the internet, each one of those, as well as trustees and project managers, so that we can develop the best projects possible in the fastest period of time. Now, once a project reaches the standard of being best practice, good design, effective use of money, job producing, and all the other criteria that are important, we will approve that project. It'll match the scoring criteria in the system and be then moved over to another data system that will be based out of the Caribbean and will be responsible for transferring the money to projects. This system is so sophisticated that it can even do the payroll for building a new airport in a province or district, down to the level of the person doing the work on the job. So every employee not only has to go through the training, but they must have a bank account into which money is transferred as they go through each pay period. It'll go directly into their accounts. The reason being, we are confronting corruption head on and eliminating corruption in the Republic of Nigeria in Egypt. And the best way to do that is to pay people directly, pay suppliers directly, and work with local trustees who are honest in approving that the work that's been done is exactly what was promised and that the materials furnished are what was promised. Now, an important element of these projects is that the local people should be prepared to contribute a part of the cost of the project. It can be in the form of land, it can be in the form of materials, it can be in the form of security, and we must have security for projects, because if they allow terror groups to come in and stop a project, we will shut it down. Or if we get reports of corruption, it will be shut. So we must have local cooperation to match the resources that are being provided so that everyone has a stake in the success of that project. And when it's completed, we will have a celebration, joining together the people who did the work and the people who are going to benefit from it, and celebrate the outcome of that work in a very visible way and televise it all through the country so that everyone knows what's been accomplished. Another of the national projects that you'll find interesting is what we call street and highway lighting. We are basically going to take all the street and highway lighting off the national power grid and come in with a system that will not only include the most advanced liquid electronic display lighting, but it will include wind power and solar power to power that lighting with batteries in each installation to support the lighting, so that the power grid is not carrying any more of the public lighting, and it's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
All the roads in the country.
And in addition, there are 140,000 kilometers of roads in Nigeria. We are going to see every one of them lit up. And on that same installation, there will be internet, Wi-Fi connections, security where it's needed. If it's a sensitive area, there will be cameras that can detect locations of security problems. There will also be tracking devices for sounds. If you say you have an oil port where somebody's coming to try to come in and take it by force, this will even tell you where the gunshots are coming from and report it to a national command center so that it can be stopped before it starts. Now, if there's an emergency, like a big typhoon comes in or a tornado or something else, this same system will be an independent communication system to every community in Nigeria, so that the president can, in one announcement, tell everyone in the country what has happened, what's being done about it, and how steps are being taken to be able to mitigate any adverse effects of any event, whether it's man-caused or weather-caused or whatever it is. This doubles as a new communication system while it provides internet connection to every village, town, building, room, floor, and family.
Now, sorry, John, could you please start that part again? The national grid and the electricity, the lighting of the roads, all the highways, all this last piece, segment of the presentation, could you start again? Because we're having some challenges here a little bit. So start that afresh, please, with the national grid.
There are 140,000 kilometers of roads and highways in Nigeria. We want to provide new and independent lighting for every one of those roads and highways. We also want that lighting to be powered away from the national power grid, because the power grid is already overloaded with public lighting requirements that it can't carry without being expanded dramatically. We do want the power generating capacity to be expanded, but we want this lighting system to be independent of the national power grid and generating capacity, because we want that new capacity to be used for new industries, new jobs, new homes, and new manufacturing facilities where they're needed. And we want to use wind power and solar power to power each of the poles that are carrying this lighting. Each of those poles will have what we call a Christmas tree on top of it. It'll be a concrete pole 36 feet high, 12 meters, or higher in mountainous areas, and on top of it will be an aluminum cap that carries not only the batteries to store the power from the wind and the sun, but also the electronics to power the lighting, and a communication system that will be linked up through the entire country. So it'll provide internet connectivity to every single area of the country, Wi-Fi communications and emergency communications, and it will be independently powered so that if the generator plant goes out in that area, you'll still have lighting on the streets, you'll still have communications. And it can be tied back into a national command center that monitors weather, other events, so that people have advance warning of any adverse events that are about to unfold and what can be done about it. So it doubles as a national communication system as well as a lighting system. We have the option of adding signage for all the roads, lit signage and other things, but we wanted to do first the lighting to make Nigeria literally the light of Africa in two ways. Not only in the character of the people, but also the lighting on its streets, cities, and towns. Does that help?
Yes, but you left out the section about the security. If there is robbery, and can you talk more a little about the security?
In important areas that must be secure or are in danger of attack by outside people, whatever the cause is, we will have hidden security cameras that are not known to anybody but the authorities, and we will have noise tracking devices so that any steps that are taken by terrorists or thieves or criminals, whatever, we will have it on video, and if they use weapons, we'll know what weapon was fired and where it was fired from. because we'll have these tracking devices that will be able to isolate location and noise in that way.
Wow. And that is going to be, this security is going to be mounted together with the lighting system and the communication system on all roads and highways.
Correct.
Okay.
The next area that we want to do work in is to demonstrate ways of cleaning up groundwater, especially where the oil companies have come in and destroyed the groundwater, the underground water, the rivers or the streams. And we have a technology that we would like to bring over, and if it works to the satisfaction of the environmental authorities in Nigeria, we can expand its use. But we wanted to do a demonstration project in the worst groundwater conditions in Nigeria, and if it restores the biological balance and the drinkability of that water, and you agree, then we'd make that technology available for use throughout the country. And the last project that we've submitted a proposal on that we think you will like is this cancer treatment project. The basic plan is to come in and train whatever doctors are interested in being involved in cancer treatment on the use of this system, to provide support for them in the form of the machine that runs it, and then to inventory the supplies that can be used to do cancer treatment throughout Nigeria, starting with breast cancer and then moving into other areas as we overcome the breast cancer epidemic that's already underway. I just gave our mutual friend, Bishop Millender, a report on the incidence of breast cancer in Nigeria, and it's tragic what has happened because people cannot get good treatment on a timely basis or good diagnosis. So we have a company in California that has developed a very reliable treatment system that we would like to enable to bring into Nigeria and use Nigeria as the springboard for cancer treatment throughout Africa once it's demonstrated there and accepted. Now, these are hard things to implement in areas where doctors want to earn a lot of money, or they want to put you on chemotherapy that costs many thousands of US dollars and other things. So we are basically working around them to provide a low-cost, highly effective treatment system that uses what's called cryoablation. That is, a needle probe goes to the area of the cancer. It's detected by a sonogram, and the needle probe is positioned right in the middle of that cancer tumor, and then it freezes that tumor for a stipulated period of time and then gradually unfreezes it so that all the cancer cells are killed and absorbed into the bloodstream, and then the needle is withdrawn. So it's a 4-hour treatment. It requires a Band-Aid on the area where the needle was inserted, and the patient leaves on the same day they came to the doctor's office, and they don't have to take anything except a painkiller for a half a day, and then they come back and get it checked after a month. It is so good that we want the people of Nigeria to benefit from it as a part of this. So that gives you a sort of an overview, and the man seated in that beautiful chair at the head of the room has ideas that go far beyond ours, but we want to know that where we can help him and help you to succeed, we are interested in seeing that occur and then celebrating the results together.
Any questions from the hall, from the auditorium? Anybody wants to ask? Yes, please.
This is Ladi Shoroke. I'm more interested in what's going on in the healthcare field. I'm more interested in knowing what's going on in the healthcare field. Are we talking about improving the primary health care? and leaving the secondary and the tertiary to the federal government and the state government?
We are talking about local leaders taking a leadership role in improving primary health care. In some areas of the world, we think that is through local clinics that treat inhabitants of the village on an individual basis and serve as the channel for the provincial or regional hospital system. But in most areas, our concern is there is not good primary care available outside the major cities. And so we would like to make primary care the top priority, including even building clinics, for example, where they are needed in small villages and towns where people have a place to go to get help from a physician's assistant, a small pharmacy, and a treatment area. Plus, we would add to that clinic a little meeting room so that the community has a place that they can gather and meet socially or otherwise when the healthcare clinic is not in operation. So it serves two purposes. And we've seen examples in Ukraine, for example, of the old communist buildings that can be converted to clinics and again be welcomed as places where people want to go and meet and get healthcare treatment and get medicine when they need it. We want to follow the same model in Nigeria of local clinics that treat people on a primary care basis, move toward preventive care and good primary care to lower the incidence of serious illness and other problems once you go up. Now, there is also money, and this is the healthcare area. We've allocated $80 million to projects down to each of the 35 provinces. So each province would have anywhere from $1 to $8 million to put into clinics, training, whatever they want to do to improve the health of their people, and to then monitor that health so that we see the improvements occurring over time.
Just wanted to know if there's any inclusion for air ambulance. Air ambulance.
Air ambulance can be done. It would be more of either a provincial or national level project. It would be funded out of the contingency money if that was a high priority. But we'd let local leaders make that decision.
Okay. Any other question? Yes, please.
Thank you very much. Having had all this, it sounds so beautiful. And is it possible to know when is this thing taken up and how long do you think it's going to take? 5 years, 10 years?
The entire thing will take probably 5 and 10. The deal that we will make is this will all be funded out of a trust fund. And the trust fund will retain a piece of ownership of the projects because they want to follow that project for the next 50 years throughout its entire life. So we're not looking at going in and making a big splash in a week. We're looking at a 50-year friendship and relationship to benefit the people of Nigeria in every single case.
Any other question? Another person has another question? Yes, please.
I'd like to know if the cancer treatment has been used in any other country.
You mean this process we're talking about?
Yes.
Yes. We are about to start it in Ecuador. We are going to do it in Dominican Republic. And so there's some Western Hemisphere countries. We actually have 9 pilot areas of the world that we are going to do it. Canada, United States.
She's talking about the cancer treatment. The cancer treatment. The one you spoke about.
It's already being done in certain areas of the United States, and we want to use Nigeria as the springboard to India and other countries around the world for that cancer treatment.
Thank you.
We want you to be the leaders in the international sector.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This appears to me to be a parallel government. in terms of the scale of the operations that you are going to do. My interest is how are you going to coordinate with the federal government to be able to run these projects? I'm making an assumption that some of the interventions that you plan to do, probably the federal government might also have planned to do them. So how are you going?
They could well. Yes, that's a very good point. We will have a staff that I'm hoping you are part of that staff in Nigeria.
He's naturalized.
There you go.
We have them here. We have them here.
I know, and I know of no better people to coordinate with the federal government. And the man at the back of the front of the room walking back and forth has great relationships at the national level, as do other people in that room, I'm sure, and it all must be coordinated. The difference is we are working from the bottom up, not from the top down. Every world development project that's been done to date has gone in and said, we'll give you a loan to do a project in an area. And what happens is the loan is put in somebody's pockets, the project is never done, and the people never benefit from it. So that's why we're working at the district level back up for all of our project development with money set aside for national projects in power generation, economic zones, and other things of national interest while we work locally from the bottom up.
I appreciate the concept of bottom up because it enhances participatory community participation. How different is your approach going to be from the one of the development agencies? Because I'm aware that there have been a lot of interventions, say, from the World Bank and others that also attempt to use a participatory approach like you are going to use.
Well, we are talking with the World Bank. They are interested in what we're recommending, and we do have meetings planned with them. In fact, some of the money may be money that is available through the World Bank and through other sources that have been developed. But we're emphasizing local development more than we are emphasizing large-scale things that are only done by a few people. And that's how we're evaluating projects, and that's how we're scoring them, because we want to see local trustees, engineers, and citizens leading this effort, not a few bureaucrats either in London or Frankfurt or Lagos. We want the people in the cities of the Delta, the Cross River, the Borno, the Benue, the Bayelsa, and others to be the ones providing the leadership, because we think the best results will come that way.
Excellent. I'm really glad to hear about the participation of the communities and the people themselves there, because I was afraid of elite capture, the people who are there capturing the opportunity and denying the real local people from benefiting. But also,
which you are exactly right, and that's why probably 40% of the world's people are living in conditions that you and I do not regard as adequate, because the elites have captured the money and the control, and the people have not gotten the benefit.
Maybe to seek your indulgence finally, I'm still more interested in the system of dealing with corruption because that's really our nightmare. Yes, I heard you talk about setting up a banking system where it's easier to pay the workers via the bank. But apart from that, are there any other mechanisms in place to deal with this problem of corruption?
Yes. We are going to have third-party experts evaluate projects, assure that the budgets are realistic, assure that there are no elements or areas of the budgets that could be subject to corruption, assure that the suppliers are reliable, and watch the work. If it's a big project, we'll have full-time people watching the work and approving the progress against the budget and schedule of what needs to be done, so that we're only paying the people who are doing the work. And if corruption gets in the way of it, we will shut the project down with the concurrence of the leadership team in that area, because we are not going to tolerate corruption in any form or at any level.
Mine is no question. Mine is just to appreciate you and say thank you. Okay. Mine is not. That thing is okay. Mine is not a question. It's just to appreciate Pastor Sunday. That thank you so much. I believe that these are the cry of the Nigerian people for God to send a deliverer. For God to say somebody will come and help us to change Nigeria. So I just want us to appreciate him and say thank you so much, sir.
We think it's what God wants all of us to do, and obviously you agree.
Yes. Hello, sir. My name is Lola Shironki, and I want you to correct my thinking about what I thought I heard you say. When you were talking about paying out, you also talked about some money that was that people could pay in form of money, a little fee, or they could sell land. Could you clarify that, especially the land part?
Well, if we are going to say build a new school in a district, we're going to look to the district to provide the land for that school. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, what if what if an individual has lands all over the place?
Well, an individual land available for a contribution to the project, usually projects are designed to work for the community, not for individuals.
Yeah.
And for example, if a person owned land that we wanted to put a new road or a new school in, they would be paid for their land to be purchased to enable that project to go and not be treated unfairly in that process.
All right then. Thank you.
Is that the issue that you're concerned about?
Yeah. Also, I wanted to know if you talked about if the individuals contributed the land. How does that work?
Not individuals,
communities. Communities. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right.
Lands are going to be bought from individuals, but he's talking about community participation, participatory of the community that is going to own the school, own the hospitals, all that, so that they will be interested in seeing it as their own, rather than seeing it as somebody's own, so that they would now be interested in protecting it from the hooligans and the bandits and the
Exactly. Now, there's one result of all this that I should point out. The gentleman with the microphone has this beautiful head of black hair. And as you notice, my head is all white hair. So when this project is done, he will have white hair as well.
Good day. My name is Obio Jimadu. Online, a lot of people are ecstatic about what is going on, and they're having lots of questions. But to get them calm, let me throw up this question. What kind of system of checks and balances do you have to make sure that this project is not ruined by the same people who are going to lead and to implement the same program? Please, I would like you to really be specific and underline it. Let people be calm and not take this as another white elephant project. Thank you.
Yes, good question. When a project is put together, we have a 10-part project formulation system. And it includes not only if it's, say, a new school or a facility that's got to be built, It includes the estimates and the designs and everything that must be done and the standard to which it must be built. Those standards will be reviewed by experts either within Nigeria or outside of Nigeria to make sure that it's the best design, the best budget, the best materials list that you can have, and that it is followed rigorously as the project is developed against a schedule and against a vast reference library of what we call best practices. So if you're opening a new store that sells shoes, you'll even be able to find out how to set up your inventory, how to train your customers, how to train your employees, how to treat your customers, and every aspect of that operation being done in the right way. And the big system that enables this to be done is that project leaders will have access to this so that they can reference those best practices and apply them in the local community. And then we will monitor through this big payment system how the project is doing over time. Because as I mentioned, we're looking for a 50-year partnership, not a one-time effort that doesn't result in good and benefit to everyone.
Well, I think what Obi wants to also know, I think you have mentioned that a little bit. You need to point that out again, that we are having a separate budget and we are creating a team, a budget to create teams in every of the state and every of the local governments, that we are going to train people on specific kingdom principles and training materials, the number that you mentioned, the number, and that people are going to be trained on ground, and these people are going to be participating in monitoring and overseeing the work that's going to be going on ground.
Yes, indeed. That's a good summary.
Yes. Can you also please, the first project, I want you to just have a quick run over all the major projects again. The quick run. The first thing you mentioned is the fact that we are presenting Christ. The second one you mentioned is the emergency needs of the community and of the provinces and of the people. Just go through the whole thing again, please.
Okay. First is sharing the gospel. The second is addressing the crisis needs, i.e. lack of water, food, shelter, clothing, or a place for people to be in an emergency. The third is what we call chronic deficits, problems arising out of displaced people groups, civil conflict, terror, corruption, addiction, and others.
Okay.
And we actually have a training program for the addiction problem as well.
Now, would this cover
the environment and modernizing infrastructure?
Before you talk about the environment, would this also cover the most acute need in Nigeria now, which is feeding? And feeding is not just for displaced people. There are just a large percentage of the country that is acutely poor, and is there going to be any food provision or feeding program that we could just, like a relief system for the poor people to start with, before we could set them up in business and in microfinancing?
Yes, indeed. And there is money set aside for those contingencies in every single province. I can give you the number of U.S. dollar equivalents by province if you want them, but I don't think you want to take that time tonight.
Do you have it just in front of you right now?
Yes.
Please go ahead.
The total contingency money is 690 million U.S. dollar equivalents in Naira. And for example, the Aba province has $1.4 million to use for contingencies for any place that they need to feed people or meet crisis needs or do things that will forestall problems in their population. Every single province has an allocation like that.
Okay.
And it totals $690 million.
Excellent. Go ahead, please.
And then to pick up the priorities, the environmental cleanup and modernizing infrastructure is number 4, and number 5 is the 13 economic development sectors, whether they be agricultural cooperatives, new power plants in provinces, or whatever. There's money allocated in each of those 13 sectors to every single province to do the projects they regard as most important in cooperation with their district leaders.
Can you mention the 13 sections again, please?
I'm sorry, I missed the question.
Yeah, please go through the list of the 13 sections.
Oh, okay. Here are the categories where money has been allocated to each province. National training, that is to give the training to the people involved in the projects. The second is national staff. This is what pays the distinguished people in the room as well as every single district. The third is staff at the provincial level. The fourth is support at the provincial level if engineers are needed or doctors are needed or whatever to staff healthcare programs. That support would be available through that budget. The next area is the national power system, that is generating plants and the national grid. The next area is economic zones where more than one province is involved on a cooperative basis. We can provide money for that. Then we go to agriculture, culture and history, economic development, education and human capital, energy development, healthcare, manufacturing, natural resources, rural development, services, transportation, urban development, and then contingency money. Down to the level of every single province on each item, based on population.
Excellent. Hello?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yes.
It's the first time I've ever known Pastor Sunday to be speechless. This is one of the richest men of the Lord's word I know, and I've never heard that much silence from him at any time we've known each other for 20 years.
Yes, I'm at awe at what God is about to do in Nigeria, and I'm happy that it's not just my words anymore. People don't just have to take my words for it, but they should also see that there are other people who are working day and night on this, and that things are moving, even though we are not discussing what the government is doing. This is not political. This is not having anything to do with the government right now, but this is just what our team is putting together by the grace of God. So, well, thank you so very much, John, and you did a great job, and we are looking forward to when God will open the door for us to move into Nigeria.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you as well. Please don't blame me for Pastor Sunday keeping you up so late tonight, though. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you.
Thank you. God bless. Bye.
Good night.
Bye. Okay, let's put the light off, and let me tell you about my plan for Nigeria, for the transformation of Nigeria and Africa. All right. You have the microphone there? Okay. Okay, we see now that here you have... Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
Vision.
No, don't worry. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. All these are my strategies, and they are too complex for you. The system, this one not be the system, is a little bit more complex than the one I taught you this morning. So I don't want to confuse you, so go ahead. Go ahead. It's also too complex for you. Go ahead. Okay, this one is easier. This one is easier. These are blocks of spheres of influence that we must penetrate when we go to Nigeria. Okay, go ahead. All right. So this is just a preliminary draft. Summary. This is just a summary of the plan. Go ahead. Okay, now we are starting here. There are actually 775, I think. Oh, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's say we have this amount of local governments in Nigeria, right? 774 local governments. Now, for those who are not from Nigeria, we have central government or federal government. Then we have state government. Then every state government have what we call local government or districts. Are you understanding that? That is the lowest form of government. The closest to the ordinary people in the village. So each local government will have like a town or two towns if they are lucky. Towns, normally one big town, and all others are smaller villages, some small, some big, a little bit, but one or two towns. Normally not more than one or two towns. Others are just villages. So it's quite local, but close to the people as well. So my dream and my idea is this: to start projects in every one of those local governments. So let's say we have 36 states in Nigeria, and that's how many we have. 36 states, but every state have nothing less than 15, maybe 10 local governments. Some states have 10, 15, 13, 18, 20, 23, 25, something different. So if we have, what state are you coming from? Lagos. Lagos State. Let's say you come from Lagos State and we have, wow. Look who came to see us. Layo and Charles. Hey, Mr. Charles Emmanuel. You dey enjoy you. When will you lend me some of that your pot? Eh? You didn't have it the last time you were here. Something has happened. God, they take care of you now. Yeah, thank God, thank God. You come and lay hands on me when you are through. Bless you, bless you, bless you, bless you, bless you. You didn't even want me, you are coming.
You're busy, Pastor.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, sure.
Nice to see you. You know, Deo, maybe it was just photo trick you are using on me. I didn't say any pot here now. Because from when you are far away, you use some photo trick like that, or what is it, film trick you say? I can't see any pot anymore. My own is even bigger than your own. Maybe I'm the one to be laying hands on you now. Take care. Welcome. Thank you for the pleasant surprise. Okay, where did I stop? Okay, let's say you come from Lagos State. That's one state. But let's say you have 30 local governments. So if I'm going to start projects in all 30 local governments, it means I'm going to have, so Lagos State is going to have at least 30 projects in the name of Sunday Adelaja Foundation. That's what we want to use, Sunday Adelaja Foundation. 30 projects minimum in that state. So every local government will feel our presence in Nigeria. So what are the projects? How do we know the projects? We are going to find out from every local government what are the most pertinent needs, what are the most pressing needs they need in those. Let's say they need water supply in this local government, but that local government, their most pressing need is a primary school. Let's say that other local government is the road they need to be repaired. Maybe that other local government is agricultural project they need. So whatever it is, we are going to do research of every local government and determine what are their needs. Now, listen now closely. We are not, so you have 30 local governments in Lagos State. Now, we are not just going to touch every local government. We are going to say, okay, you are the head of your own local government, and you know there are 30 of them. But he's just the head of one local government. Then we are going to ask him, give us list of all problems you have in your local government. Women are staying home, they don't have job, but they need to start petty businesses. So they need microfinancing. Write it down. Children don't have uniform to go to school, or they cannot afford to pay for school fees. Write it down. Maybe, what are the other things? Crime. You need security. Write it down. Maybe you need cooperatives. Write it down. So he writes down all the needs of his society. And our goal is this, to start from 1 to 100 projects just for that local government. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 10, not 20, not 30, not 40, not 50. As much as 100. If they don't have as much, good. But if you know, we are ready to commit 100 projects to a local government. That's Lagos State, but they have 30 local governments. That's the problem. So if we do 100 projects in this local government, what happens to the other local governments? Well, the same thing. We will be ready to commit up to 100 projects also in every one of the 30. So if we now say we do not in 1 year, we could start with 1. Then in the next 10 years, we have up to 100 projects. So it's going to be spread out, right? So if you are starting 100 projects in this local government, and there are 30 of those local governments, how many projects would those be in just one Lagos State? That would be 3,000 local Sunday Adelaja projects meeting the 3,000 different needs just in Lagos State alone. By the time we are through, every family would have had a taste of us, or will be having constant touch with us. That is what we call transformation, national holistic transformation. That is going to be more intense than what the old government of Nigeria has done since independence. And now, think about it. We have such local governments. We have 774 of them. Multiply that by 100. That is 77, almost 80,000 projects at the same time all over the country. That's what is worth it for me. It's a kind of challenge that is worth it. And that's why I'm going back to Africa. And that's why I need all the help I could. And that's why we are going to raise up men. And it's not going to be a problem for me. That's not the problem. That's not the problem. And I know it's not a problem. I know how to do it. Some people might think that that's mind-blowing. Now you understand why those people think I'm delusional. Okay, it looks so. It looks so. So let's continue going. Yes. Now, see at the analysis we've done. Talk about systems, right? So I need to go to Nigeria. So I need to do a system for Nigeria. So who understands what you see? Can anybody come and give a description of what you are seeing right now? It's too confusing for you, right? Give the microphone.
In Abia State, the population is
You have to stand this way so that they will, yeah.
In Abia State, the population is 3.2 million. There are
show them where the population is. Okay.
There are 17.
So the first, tell them the first table, the first column. Yeah.
These are the population. These are the names of the states.
Yes.
These are the population of each state, all the way to Jigawa. These are the number of local governments in every state.
Yes.
If we do 100 projects for every local government, 17 times 100, There'll be 1,700 projects going on.
No, 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 no. You just missed something right there. No, no. Let him say it again. Repeat that and say it again.
There are 17 local governments in Abia State.
Good.
So each local government is going to get 100 projects.
Why are you pointing your fingers down?
Down?
Yeah, why are you taking your finger down? You don't need to take your fingers down.
Oh, okay.
Because if you take it down, then you go to Adamawa State and other states.
All right. So there are 17 local governments in Abia. Each local government is going to get 100 projects. 17 times 100.
Then go to the next column.
That's how you get this figure.
What figure?
1,700.
Where? No, you are not on 1,700. You are on, okay. He's showing 7. Oh, the day is a bit late. Okay. Yeah, that's how it. Okay, okay. That's 1,700 right there, yes.
So we're going to start the project in 2017. The figures you see here, multiplied in thousands.
Yes.
That's the amount of the project. In 2018, the same amount is going to go.
So we have calculated, including the money that's going to be involved for every local government and for other number of projects. Then can you go through the states?
In Adamawa,
how many projects?
There will be 21 local governments. There will be 2,100 projects.
Okay, keep on going. No, just stop on the projects, but to go through the states.
In Akwa Ibom, there's 4.6 million people, 32 local governments, multiplied by 100, 3,200 projects. In Anambra, population 4.8, 21 local governments, 2,100 projects. In Bauchi,
some people, there is something we call the Biafra movement in Nigeria. Because of them, I had to expose my plan. I wrote an article. I don't remember what I call it. I think maybe something, a word for my Biafra brethren or so. I was telling them, I beg you, in the name of Jesus, please don't leave Nigeria before I come. Give me, not Nigeria, give me a chance, 5 years. I have such a plan for Nigeria and for Biafra states, every state in Biafra, that if Nigeria doesn't change, including Biafra people, then you are free to go. But if you go before I come, you will be begging to come back because of what is going to be happening in Nigeria. I wrote an article about that because, it's going to be so holistic that the country will change. I don't even need to prophesy. It's just going to be so obviously change. The progress and the development is going to be so rapid. And just for you to know, I have a think tank in Washington, D.C. right now that are working. This is just the preliminary thing. It's going to be like 1,000 pages of documents. And I have another think tank in Lagos, Nigeria, that are working 24 hours just to study every local government, all their plans, all their problems, and everything. And I don't want Biafra to go. I don't want the eastern part of Nigeria to go personally. Because personally I believe in... But the Igbo people, they are not Biafra. The Biafra people, they don't represent all Igbo people. But I'm talking about not the Biafra people. I'm talking about the Igbo people, the eastern people. I believe in them so much. Personally, I believe that I want to invest in two groups of people I'm very passionate about in Nigeria. I believe in my Ijebu people. Yes, I believe in the Ijebu people. Yes. And maybe because I'm from there, but maybe I'm biased a little bit, but I noticed something in the Ijebu people. They are kind of different. From my own analysis. For example, that is Ogun State area, right? Now, that state, Ogun State, now, Yoruba has how many? 6 states? Maybe 6 states. And we have 40 million people. In 40-something million people, Yorubas, who are Yorubas. But Ogun State is the smallest of all the Yoruba people. But that smallest state, that state has produced all the Yoruba presidents we ever had in Nigeria. They come from that one state alone. Yes. You never thought about it. There is all the Yoruba president that ever come from Nigeria. They came from that little smallest state. Shonekon or whatever they call him. And then Shonekon, is he not from there? Abiola that they never allowed to rule. Is he not from there? Is he from there? Obasanjo, is he not from there? Obasanjo second time, well, is he not from there? He's from there. Awolowo, is he not from there? Anybody that is who and who in the Yoruba land, they are from there. Now, Tai Sholari, is he not from there? He's from there. Wale Soyinka, is he not from there? So who remains? Sunday Adelaja, is he not from there? So there is something that the richest black man, the richest black Nigerian, apart from Dangote, is from Ogun State. Adenuga is from there. Oba Otedola, is he not from there? From there. Or Shubomi, what's the college? Shubomi Balogun, the owner of what bank? SCMB Bank. Is he not from there? He's from anybody that is who and who in Yoruba land. So something must be happening. So I want to go, yes, it's not just the water. It is the substance. It is everything. The water, the land, and I can prove that to you scripturally and preach it to you. The effect of land where you grow up and where you walked and the food substance you eat on what you become in life.
So all the mega churches
they are in Ogun State. All the mega churches in Nigeria, Redeem, Deeper Life, all of them, Fire, Mountain of Fire, all winners, all of them are in Ogun State. All of them. So, and it has the largest number of universities in Nigeria. All the universities are from 20 universities are there. So. So, but if you never challenge yourself and you never ask that question, you will never know. Because the reason why I started thinking about that was because they claim that they found, an English archaeologist claimed that he found a wall over there that they believe was, they associated it with Queen of Sheba or something. They said it is comparable to the walls of China, and it is, it is as old as the blocks in England. What do you call those? Stoneheads, yes. And that the black people did this. So it's one of the United Nations archaeological protected areas. And this in Nigerian. So they are saying, who are the people who live in this area? That there's something special about that. Because they built that thing before they aged something in England. They were saying, and it's as big as the pyramids. And they are worshiping the pyramid people. They say, and this is in the bush in Nigeria. So it's in Ijebu land. So they are saying some people have lived here, some people, and I began to examine myself. Because I never, like I said, I never went to a school like that. If you see the picture of my high school, we don't have walls, no walls, nothing. And like I said, I never saw a library, I never saw a laboratory, I never, and then I, just put one or two things together. And all these Yoruba and Ijebu people, I mean, like I said, Yoruba people are many. They're like 50 million people, right? But why are all these people concentrated coming from this little space? little space. So I personally believe that Pastor Sunday Adelaja, myself, I would have been left. If I didn't win a scholarship, nobody would have discovered that something like this was hidden from the villages over there. And I know for sure that there are many Sunday Adelajas in that land. But they are still buried there. Just I would have been buried there without notice. So I want to go there, and I want to invest on giving opportunities to all of them, so that we will be able to discover more Sunday Adelajas for the world. Are you from there? Yeah! Ijebu? Yes, so now, keep on going. Then the same conviction that I have about the Ijebus and the Ogun State people is the same conviction I have about the Igbo people. There is something about those people. Yes, I believe in them like crazy. I want to invest as much. So those are the two. Now, there are other places in Nigeria that all of them are great. They are unique. They are talented. Everybody is great. But those two people, the eastern part of Nigeria and the Ijebu people, I have special interest in them. And I want to give my best to all of them. Especially Anambra in Igbo, Anambra State, and Ijebu people, Ogun State. And Ibadan, Abeokuta Ijebu, Egba Ijebu, that Ogun State, and Anambra State. I am really interested in those two. You are from Anambra State. Yes, you see, one of them is here. Amara is here. Anambra girl. Igbo girl, Anambra girl. You too, you are Imo. You are Imo. Abia State. Okay. You used to be Imo when we met. So that's why I wrote that passionate letter to the. I don't want the Biafra people to spoil that agenda. I don't want them to stand on the way, because I know what God would do through Nigerians and through, not just those Nigerians, but I'm going to be doing everything, the same thing for all local government, all states. But I'm just revealing my heart cry to you now about those group. I'm biased about those two group of people. Yeah. Go ahead.
We stop at Bauchi, 5.5 million, 20 local governments, 2,000 projects. Bayelsa, 1.9 million, 8 local governments, 800 projects. Benue, 4.9 million population, 23 local government, 2,300 projects. Borno, 4.9 million, 26 local government, 2,600 projects. Cross River State, 3.3 million, 18 local government, 1,800 projects. Cross River, Delta, 4.8 million, 24 local governments, 2,400 projects. Delta, Ebonyi, 2.5 million, 13 local government, 1,300 projects. $1,800. Ekiti, 2.8 million, 16 local government, 1,600 projects. Enugu, 3.7 million people, 17 local government, 1,700 projects. Federal Capital Territory, 2.2 million, 6 local government, 600 projects. Imo State, 4.6 million people, 27 local government, 2,700 projects. Jigawa, 5 million, 27 local government, 2,700 projects. Next, please. Kaduna, 7.1 million people, 23 local governments, 2,300 projects. Kano, 11 million people, 44 local government, 4,400 projects. Katsina, 6.7 million people, 34 local government, 3,400 projects. Kebbi, 3.8 million people, 21 local government, 2,100 projects. Kogi, 3.8 million people, 21 local government, 2,100 projects. Kwara, 2.7 million people, 17 local government, 1,700 projects. Lagos, 10.9 million people, 20 local government, 2,000 projects. Nasarawa, 2.1 million people, 13 local government, 1,300 projects. Niger, 4.6 million people, 25 local government, 2,500 projects. Ogun State, 4.4 million people, 20 local government, 2,000 projects. Osun State, 4 million people, 30 local government, 3,000 projects. Oyo State, 6.6 million people, 33 local government, 3,300 projects. Plateau, 3.6 million people, 17 local government, 1,700 projects. River State,
Maybe you left it out. Don't worry, we'll fix it, we'll fix it. Keep on going.
Plateau State, 3.6 million people, 17 local governments, 1,700 projects. River State, 6.1 million people, 23 local governments, 2,300 projects. Sokoto, 4.3 million people, 23 local governments, 2,300 projects. Taraba, 2.6 million people, 17 local government, 1,700 projects. Yobe, 2.7 million people, 17 local government, 1,700 projects. Zamfara, 3.8 million people, 14 local government, 1,400 projects. Subtotal, you can see it in dollars there. There's going to be a Nigeria project office. They have a budget too. Ukraine liaison office, that's their budget. US project office, they also have a budget. The total amount that's expected to be spent in 2017.
Don't worry, you don't need to mention.
All right. The population of Nigeria, since is 160 million, I think it's more now.
Yep. So keep on going. Next page, please. Yeah, give to him. Yes.
Number one, village healthcare clinics. They're vital projects for Nigeria. So number one is village healthcare clinics.
So I'm just using this as an example of projects, right? Like 100 projects. So things like this. Just you see an example of it. Yeah, go. And what wait, go back. What are these things? These are videos of what they are going to look like. What we have done is that we've done research of any project that we mention here. We have videos of how they're going to look like. These are the things you are seeing here on different continents.
Number two project, primary school modernization. 3, secondary school modernization. 4, agriculture cooperatives. 5, energy modernization. Environmental cleanup, number 6. Infrastructure modernization, number 7. Natural resource development, number 8. Entrepreneurship, development and small-scale business, number 9. Rural development, number 10. Transportation, number 11. 12 is services. 13, urban development. 14, skills acquisition centers. 15, affordable homes. 16, security. 17, church reformation. 18, women empowerment through cooperatives, that is widows, petty traders, single parents, and unskilled teenage girls. Reorientation and training for the public and private sectors, number 19. 20, establishing microcredit and microfinance banks. 21, training for present and future political leaders. 22, feeding centers for the extremely poor. 23, rehabilitation centers for the homeless and mentally derailed people. 24, technical colleges. 25, the need for a worldwide network of TV stations and other media outlets for value reorientation of the masses. A law firm to litigate against all forms of injustice and unrighteousness in the society, number 26. 27, have an investigation company with detectives for proper fact-finding research on all matters. 28, start public debates and public hearing avenues to create a hearing for the general public. 29, history makers training in secondary schools and universities, intensive boot camp type of training. 31, libraries and book clubs. 32, symposiums, colloquiums, seminars, and roundtables on national issues. 33, work out a legal agreement with partners and co-workers to avoid betrayals and stealing of projects. 34, set up a think tank and executive teams to work on the realization of all ideas and projects and to develop new ones. 34, set up a publishing and distribution arm of the ministry for Pastor Sunday's books.
Now that create questions and answers, Katerina Saite. Joshua спаси. Чтобы показать вопросы и ответы. После этого.
Transform the books into video games, board games, films, talk show, and TV programs. 36, start a running TV program based on each group. Program where viewers are challenged to write their projects, ideas, business. Okay, so program where viewers are challenged to write their projects, ideas, business plans.
Maybe it's enough. Or I should continue. Okay, continue, they said.
Program where viewers are challenged to write their projects, ideas, business plans on the topic of each book, then submit them for screening, competitions, and financing. The goal is to find people through whom we will turn every book into an institution project, vision, which will later grow into self-sustaining organisms. 37, start a mass educational project on the laws of money based on my book, Money Won't Make You Rich. This will include monthly crusades on the topic, HMT type of training on the weekends and midweek. 38, start mass empowering crusades in stadiums.
Are you saying system? Uche, are you the blame that we go blame for this one? Are you saying we should do it today?
Says there will be trainings, teaching, counseling, skill acquisitions, prayers, etc. They could be called National Transformation Crusades and conferences. 39, mentorship programs for aspiring millionaires and champions of industries. 40, partnering program with successful businesses and other national institutions where we could all be part owners. That is, owning shares so as to ride on their influences to affect the nation. 41, scholarship and financial grants to high school graduates. 42, scholarship and financial grants to pastors and other full-time ministers. 42, the University of Life project via the internet, social media. Okay, a proposed training program that could include the following: an evaluation of the problems of the nation. Where did the wrong value system come from? 2, what are the value systems Nigeria needs for a rapid development? 3,
louder, please.
How to get rid of bad value systems and establish new ones. 4, we need a content formation program for a new Nigerian. 5, a comprehensive training that will help people discover their abilities, gifts, and callings. Number 6, train people to take responsibility for social transformation rather than leave it to the government. 7, help people discover the purpose for Nigeria. 8, enlighten the elites.
Sunday Adelaja for president.
8, enlighten the elite or the elite.
You want to put me in trouble? I don't want president. Oh. I'm not interested. I am God's president.
Number 8, enlighten the elite on their role and responsibility before the nation. Number 9, the church needs to be trained to stop abdicating their duties and roles to the unbelievers. Number 10, bringing the awareness on personal responsibility to the Nigerian public. 11, practical training on how to resolve each of Nigeria's...
Just to answer this person that is saying I should run for presidency or someone like for president, I want to say that to become a president is a demotion. Is it? Demotion. It's a demotion. It is actually not just a demotion, but it's going to be a counterproductive. It's going to be counterproductive. So, you know, to be a president will be a demotion. I will be coming down from my height. That's what I say. So I'm not interested in running for president.
Okay, number 11, practical training on how to resolve each of Nigeria's myriad of problems. 12, the need to train the populace and government agencies in standards, quality, diligence, and excellence. 13, spheres of influence and how to penetrate them. 14, building systems for change, producing of leaders. 15, train people on how to use NGOs, pressure groups, and other projects to affect the society. 16, train people on how to create...
So you see that I know exactly what I want to do, what I'm talking about, so I'm not just delusional like people say. Maybe it looks delusional. No. I'm planning. This is just preliminary. This is not even the plan yet. This is not the project. This is just to give you an idea of what we are talking about.
16, train people on how to create models and prototypes for transformation. 17, training people on how to build momentum for accelerated achievements. 18, developing programs of the school system that will emphasize values and virtue development. 19, how to bring about transformation through media and film industry. 20, developing and training future and present political aspirants for value and quality development in the country.
Okay. Let's put on the light. Okay, we need we need more, sorry. Please. Let's go to the practical questions people have. Okay.
Okay. Mr. Ray?
Yes, please.
Question 1. What is the cost involved for the people traveling with me to Nigeria to participate in the Nigerian Transformation Project? And the answer is, first of all, it will be helpful.
This is all on my blog, by the way. God, go ahead.
First of all, it will be helpful if people who are going with me to Nigeria have some of their own resources to fall back on. It will be nice if a person who is going will be able to afford to pay for his or her own ticket, visa, and accommodation in Nigeria. However, that is the ideal situation. I also realize that we don't live in an ideal world, which means there will be people who have the desire to go back with me to contribute to the rebuilding of Nigeria and Africa, but cannot afford the ticket, visa money, and accommodation money to survive in Nigeria. To those people, we'll be able to extend sponsorship, scholarship programs, depending on what they are bringing to the table. I realized that a person might not have money, but that same person could have expertise, skills, or ideas that are needed in Africa, which he will be willing to give and contribute. Second question, purpose of travel and the detail of the program. The purpose of taking teams with me for the Nigerian Transformation Program is the fact that, as a realist, I realized that one of the reasons why we are the least developed continent in the world today is because we simply don't have enough qualified people in our country. Let's face it, Nigeria today is only 50% literate, which means that human capital is not developed. We don't have enough skilled workers and laborers, especially those who can build a competitive 21st century economy. The developed countries of the world today rely on the human capacity of 100%. They even import from other countries to contribute to what they already have. How can we as
That's why I'm happy that they elected Trump, so that all Nigerians will come back home.
So how can we
They shouldn't go to Canada. They should join my team to go back to Nigeria.
How can we as a nation compete when we are only at 50% capacity rate? We cannot compete and build a modern economy. We have to fast track our human economy by bringing in those who can train our people to jumpstart our development agenda as a nation. Can you scroll up? Okay, yeah. Talking about 50% literacy in Nigeria, that includes those who are only literate in local languages and those who don't have more than a primary school education, which now puts the English literate people in Nigeria at no more than 20%. Hence, we need a lot of help. A significant number of these well-educated and literate people have moved abroad and are using their skills and education to develop other nations. They must be enticed back to the country to contribute their quota. When I talk about skilled labor, I don't mean university-educated expatriates. I simply mean anybody who knows how to do anything good. For example, some of the white people I'm bringing from Europe don't necessarily have university education, but they are skillful and experts in technical work. My goal for bringing the Europeans is for them to train as many Africans as possible before they go back.
Go ahead.
My goal of bringing expatriates with me is for the training of people, especially youth. Question 3. Security and safety advice. The people who are going with me to Nigeria are going to be under my care, which means it is my prerogative to make sure that they are protected and secured. This will take a multifaceted approach.
Okay, normal.
First of all, security will have to involve the location. For example, Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, will be a more secured location than Lagos or the Niger Delta region. This will be one of the main factors that will inform where we settle in Nigeria. Secondly, security will also involve means of transportation in and within Nigeria. We hope to procure buses so that most of our foreigners will travel in large numbers rather than individually. Another aspect of security that we want to pay special attention to is in the area of housing and accommodation of our expatriates. We intend to lodge them in an apartment complexes or estates where they will all live together in one community. Eventually, we plan to build our own estates where everybody that is connected with the Nigerian Transformation Team will live as in a city together under the security auspices of this vision. We plan to engage security companies that will be providing state-of-the-art security details for our people. I am personally aware of the security in Nigeria and making an arrangement to bring with me our one European security detail where we will have our own European security detail where we will have professional coming from Russia and other European countries. They will now be required to train the local security as well. Question 4. Standard of accommodation, food hygiene and sanitation. This is a very important question because I have discovered that accommodation, food hygiene and sanitation could be very important. I personally have had unpleasant situations where after coming back to Europe from Nigeria for the next 1 month, I had to be running to the toilet because of diarrhea. I'm aware that the composition of our food most of the time will include pepper and other spices, which will pose a huge challenge for most Europeans. Having lived in Europe for 30 years, I have come to discover that I am no more able to eat the African food. This informs the reason why some of the people going with me from here will have to be European culinary personnel. Talking about accommodation, the accommodation we intend to provide for people coming from Europe or America with me will be top-notch, at least not worse than what is obtainable in any part of the world. I'm already looking into some options that will be good enough to suit the housing demand of any European country, with consideration for 24/7 water and electricity supply, furniture, clean environments including swimming pools and gyms for recreational purposes. Style of living, e.g. communal living, as provided above. Number 6, living arrangements, gendered. The living arrangement will be in accordance to the number of people we have and their family compositions. If we have husband and wife and children, they would definitely have to stay together in the same apartment. However, if we have single individuals, they will have to stay in the same apartment with people of the same gender. Two single people might have to share an apartment, male separate, female separate, but all together in one secured estate. Behavior of traveler. We are going to have definite time of orientation for those going with us to Africa, including some code of conduct that will be read out and studied by all going with us. Some of the code of conduct that might be worth noting right now could be: we will encourage the Europeans to avoid laughing, making jest and ridiculing the African population. There will definitely be a lot of things that will be unfamiliar and look primitive and out of place in Africa. However, the purpose of our visit is to help support and educate rather than criticize, abuse, or exploit. We will advise especially our white friends and colleagues not to travel in isolation, but rather travel in groups and with trusted company. Travelers with children, number 8. If people are coming with us with their kids, we will make arrangements for schools, kindergarten, and other necessary modes of education. Besides, we will advise all people going with us to do all the necessary immunization and vaccination for themselves and their children as required by the Nigerian government. Minimum and maximum age limits. The minimum age limit will not be stipulated, especially if people younger than 18 are going with their parents or guidance. However, the maximum age limit does not exceed 65 years old.
Louder. Is it? Okay, it's okay, yeah.
Is it okay? Mm-hmm. Okay, so terms and conditions for travelers. See above, please. Code of conduct to be developed. General expenses advice. Can we scroll that up, please? For those who are able to take care of themselves as they go with us to Africa, between $2,000 and $3,000 will be necessary for a comfortable stay in Nigeria. I would like to say that if you won't be in the position to provide such an amount of money, the Nigerian Transformation Program will be responsible for a lot of the general expenses. Travel arrangements, see above. Any additional questions should be sent to nigeria@sundayadelajafoundation.com. Immobility, circulatory problems, and deep vein thrombosis. People with such situations or other severe health challenges are not advised to travel. Jet lag. For most people traveling from Europe, there will be no jet lag, and the same goes for people coming from Asia. Jet lag will only affect people coming from places across the ocean like America, Asia, and so on. It is, however, easy to overcome, and this should take place within a week of arrival. Flight arrangement. Charter? See above. Visa requirements. Most nations of the world will need a visa for West African countries and West African sub-regions. Africans, West Africans are the only ones that might not need a visa. So we are taking it upon ourselves as an organization to arrange visa invitation letters for any potential candidate traveling with us to Nigeria. We will do the invitation and we will work with the embassy to make sure that everyone coming secures a visa to Nigeria and later on a work permit that will allow them to stay in Nigeria for a period of 2 years and above. We strongly recommend that anybody coming in for this project will sign in for 2 years and above to work with the Nigerian Transformation Project. Travel insurance. Concerning travel insurance, some countries require travel insurance to go to places like Nigeria. That could be gotten for as little as $200 and above. Whoever is coming will be able to resolve that question themselves. General health insurance, see above. Travelers Embassy in Nigeria. Concerning embassies in Nigeria, for those coming with us, they will need to get Nigerian visas in Nigerian embassies in their countries or embassies where their countries are attached to.
Or is too detailed maybe for you? We should continue? Okay, go ahead.
All these questions could be resolved in an ongoing work process. Most of the developed countries in the world have their embassies in Nigeria, so they should not have any diplomatic problems in that regard. Responsibilities of traveler. Those going with us to Nigeria are required to come with their expertise, knowledge, and skills. We also advise such people to volunteer to serve in Nigeria for a minimum of 2 years. We will also ask prospective travelers to develop their project ideas and initiatives such that they could be defended and implemented in Nigeria. Healthcare requirements, see above. Underlying health of the traveler, proof of health requirement. Yes, there's a requirement. We will require that people coming will have a clean bill of health. This is not just a requirement for us, but for the government as well. Hence, we advise you have a medical checkup or health certificate ready for the embassy and visa process. Those who require repeat prescription. For those who require prescriptions, we will advise such people to put a system in place whereby they will be able to have a constant supply of their medications while they are in Nigeria. Such arrangement is better left to the individual traveler. Psychological aspect and health. It is extremely important to have a clean bill of health in regards to mental and psychological state of the travelers. We want to make sure that we are not taking people who will create more problems in Africa, but we are taking people who help resolve the problems in Africa. Mentally and psychologically unstable patients are not recommended to go. Medical consultation before and after, see above. Potential hazards. There are challenges that are awaiting every potential traveler in Nigeria. First of which is 1, the hot weather. 2, the danger of disease in case of lack of immunization. 3, it is important for foreigners to be security conscious and not wander around the country without taking necessary security precautions. Otherwise, Nigeria will be an exciting place for everyone traveling there. Nigerians are some of the most hospitable, entertaining, and interesting people to be around. Vaccination requirements and proof. Vaccinations is required by the Federal Republic of Nigeria, so it will be recommended for everyone to get a vaccination before traveling to Nigeria. Routine vaccination. As for routine or ongoing vaccination or medical services, there will be provision of medical checkups and services to all team members, free of charge as long as you are in Nigeria. Selective use for travelers. See above. Required vaccinations for Nigeria, the same. Okay. Medical kits and toiletries are seen fit by individuals. Can we go up? All right. Extended friends and family in Nigeria. As for those who have families in Nigeria, we will strongly advise that they put the work of that Nigeria Transformation Project as their focus and priority. Although everybody, so Nigeria Transformation Project will be given the acronym or the NTP anyway, so I won't have to pronounce that. Although everybody will be given the right to pursue their own projects individually under the umbrella of NTP, and in some cases under the sponsorship, still our focus must be non-negotiable. Visiting family and friends. Visiting family and friends will be made possible for everyone willing to. Families and friends will also be able to visit upon invitation by the respective relative. Mobility while in Nigeria. Understanding the geographic area. We will have ongoing constant guidance and advice from the local Nigerian staff and security operatives. List of essential travel items. This will be as individually see fit. We would like to advise that Nigeria uses electric sockets that are British standard with 3 connecting pins. You may therefore be in need of an adapter. Food and dietary requirements could be cross-checked on the internet. Passport and immigration requirements. See above. Temperature advice, dress code. The dress code will be as required for any mature Christian, men and women. That's it.
Okay, let's put on the light now. Put on the light, please. Yes, thank you. Now, that's it. I'm not sharing with you my ideas for the money and what I'm doing to get the money and all that. That's not your problem, that's my problem. So if I'm saying all this, it means that I know where I'm coming from.
We all don't have the same qualities. So whatever that is in you, you can use it to touch lives. And to be honest, that's what it is for me. I am going to promote this book more because one, I've told my daughter, I'm going to send to all of them. I've got 3 beautiful girls and they have got talent.
Is there any way, is there any way people could buy with them some more copies from here instead of getting from Amazon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just going to get some. I'll bless some people with it because I know people who don't know where they are going. They are confused. These young people, most of them are confused. Some people are blessed
So
that they know their calling.
for this kind of...
There is a need. There is. To be honest with you, it should be. Even with the transformation process we are, planning in Africa, we need everybody to have this book. So that from time they will know where they're going. So that they won't be confused. Because what people say around you will make you, oh God. I'll tell you an example. My daughter was confused, had to repeat a year, A levels. Why? Because people are telling her, oh, you write well, you could be a doctor, you could be this. She's bright, but you know what? She started it. Along the line, it was too late. She discovered that, no, I can't do this. But I saw in her that she will be in the media. She's a very good actress. She writes very well. And, if she sits in your lecture, you are thinking she's not listening, but before you know it, she's giving you a download. If you're not here and read it, you will not miss anything. So I said to her, go and do media. Eventually, that's what she's doing right now. So we need direction, but you need to know, you need to have the knowledge for you to direct somebody. If you don't have the knowledge, without this, I can't say anything. I'll just say, okay, do whatever.
Wow.
You understand? So for me, the book is good, and it also redirects you to another book where you can find an in-depth information to whichever area you choose to go. So for me, I think it's a very beautiful book. I'm not an English person, I didn't see the mistakes.
No, what about this thing? What about the style of bringing stories to illustrate?
Yes. It will give you an encouragement. It empowers you to link yourself.
So I use a lot of stories.
Yes. That's an encouragement on its own, because if this person did it and failed and carried on, I can do it, So it's an empowerment. For me, that's the way I see it. So it's a very nice book. Thank you very much.
In respect to this particular book, we're talking about who I am, which tells you about whom you are. Whom you are tells you about your existence. Why did I come into this planet Earth? And without you and I knowing why we are here, that person is as good as a dead person. So it tells you that God created you, or God created me for a purpose. And that purpose which God created me for must be fulfilled. So one thing is that it tells you what you have been created for and how you can fulfill it. It's not like putting you in suspense. I mean, suspense in 2 different ways now. Because while you are reading this book, it keeps you in suspense in the sense you want to keep on. It keeps you going and going. Even when you're supposed to sleep, you don't want to sleep. You want to see where it's leading you to. But again, keeping ones in suspense is like you have a question, but there's no answer to it. But this one, it gives you the question, then it gives you the answer, which I believe is a very good book. And again, when it comes to the issue of recommendation, I think every living, actually, I don't want to say every living thing because of the trees. But every human being is supposed to have this book because it's good for you as an adult. An adult is good for you because if you have missed it, you can easily come back and rectify. And again, too, for the children, teenagers, the young ones, is well recommended because it tells you about your future. It tells you about how you will not miss it. And having read this book, you will know that there will be less contention, because if you know what you'll be created for, you don't need to aspire to be like, oh, I want to sing like this, or I want to read like God created for you exactly. So you don't even need to fight over, oh, someone has taken my brethren or someone has taken your congregation. No, you know what you are being wired to do. And I think it's very helpful. Again, maybe, I don't, with your position, I think every school, since we are moving to Nigeria now, I think the secondary school, just like everyone has been talking about, it will be good for us if they can put it in the curriculum so that people can, because it's quite helpful. Then again, sir, I don't want you to be bothered about the grammar or no grammar, because it's well explicit. The purpose of a book is for you to read and understand. I've got some books that I will read. Even by the time you keep on checking dictionary, you get lost of the meaning. So I think this one is just straightforward. You are reading it, and it's as if the man of God is talking to you. Although, fortunately, even before buying the books, I've had the knowledge, and which is what really prompted me even to get the book, because of your message on the Facebook. So I think it's well researched. Everything is okay. When it comes to the correction, there can be room for improvement. But as of today, the book is super, and I highly recommend it for everyone. Like I said before, I bought it. I've given them to my ministers. I gave one to my son, so that he will be able to know how to do. I mean, how to run with his life too.
You got them on Amazon.
I got them on on Amazon.
So it's more expensive on Amazon.
Yeah, although when it comes to that, yeah, it's more expensive. But initially, I wasn't thinking of coming here. So, and the best thing for me is just to get this thing. It's expensive. I think there are different prices for it. The one I bought it for $12.99 each. £12.99 pounds, yes, each. And there is even there's part of the where they are selling it. They sell it for £24. So there are different prices for this thing. So, but I decided I choose
on Amazon too.
It's Amazon or another thing. I think yeah. So there are different prices. So there are different prices for it. But sincerely, the book is good and it's highly recommended. And even where you cannot get to, this book will get there. Even after you, this book will still be relevant. And it tells you how which is still part of the purpose of life. For you to be relevant to your generation, for you to be relevant to the generation yet unborn. I want to salute the grace of God over your life, sir. It's well researched, it's well printed, and the quality is good. The contents, they are just super.
Then you are encouraging me. Then I'm going to get some other books to English too.
Yeah, I think it's the best thing is, yeah.
Yeah. I think then I'm just going to go ahead and do it.
Yeah, because if this is Google translation, because
it's not just Google. It's not Google. It was translated through Google originally, then it was given to editors.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4 editors worked on it. But it's still not, I'm still not as satisfied as I would have written by myself.
Yeah, but the thing is that there are references to other books in it, and I'm sort of hungry for those.
Yeah,
in
they
English.
are already,
so,
but they are just not in English.
Yeah, maybe I think we should just do that, just to it will really because if you have to wait, you've written over 300 books, and to wait for that to happen may take another 5 years or something like that.
Okay.
So that will be, but to me, I appreciate the fact that you were able to prove that every human is a carrier of God, in the sense that you cited a lot of people who are not even Christians, or who were not Christians, or might not have been Christians. My best one of them is Steve Jobs, like I said the other time. And it goes to prove that the only difference between a believer and a non-believer is in where we spend eternity. So every one of us on the planet Earth can become a genius. Geniuses are not created sort of like, they don't drop from heaven. You have to become one. And so the the book was able to prove that it doesn't matter who you are. If you, okay. So if you self-educate and self-develop, you carry that God in you to fulfill purpose.
Yeah, the book is a very, I think is one of the best books I've ever read. Reason being is because it essentially is kind of like a manual kit for a person that for starting their life, because you know generally you know in school or whatever you're not really taught this type of thing to discover your purpose, to discover why you're here. You just kind of just go through the system, go through the motion of you learn this at school, then you know teachers tell you this is what you're supposed to be, this is who you're supposed to be, or this is who you are, and then it's almost like a form of you know, it's like they dump mud on you, and you look in the mirror and you say, oh, this is who I am, but really that's not who you are. Who you are is who God created you to be. You know, your talents and the things that are born inside of you. So you know, reading this book will allow you to scoop off all that mud that's in front of you and to reveal to you who you really are, and the power and the potential that you have as a person and what you can do. And then again, for example, a champion is a person that, you know, they always win regardless of what the situation's at hand. So if you know you're a champion, regardless of what's happened, you know, maybe let's say for example in boxing, maybe you're boxing, you're fighting, you're tired and you want to just stop. But because you're a champion, you just can't stop. You have to keep going. Or maybe your arm, your right arm is dislocated, or your shoulder is dislocated, and you're still facing your opponent. But because deep down in your heart, and you know that you're a champion, even though you've got only one arm to fight with, you have to win. You still have to find a way to win. And that is knowing who you are, because you know you're a champion. So regardless of what's happened to me, okay, my arm's hurting, blah, 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 I'm feeling this pain, you still have to win. You have to find a way to win, because that's the definition of a champion. A champion wins. Otherwise, you know, so knowing who you are will help you to be able to accomplish those things that you need to accomplish, because once you understand this is who you are, you know who you are, nothing will stand in your way. So, yeah.
You recommend it to people?
I recommend it to everyone in this whole planet. But the reason why I recommend it to everyone in this whole planet is because, you know, majority of people are doing jobs they don't like, doing jobs that make them sick, doing, you know, they're tired, their stress is disturbing their marriage. It's just, you know, and, you know, they want to have a lot of money, I'm sure, but, you know, maybe they're doing jobs that, you know, they don't have that money. But because if you do your calling, your wealth is in your calling. So, yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Yes, I will try to be brief because actually I came here to learn. If you watch me, I always want to sit down, not to even say anything, because I came here to really learn. But I thank God for this very book. After reading this book, I saw that everybody is somebody, and
everybody is somebody.
Yes,
that's well said.
So in fact, I will recommend it for everybody, mostly those that are wanting to build a team. Okay. I will recommend it for the pastors, because you cannot be able to help somebody if you've not discovered yourself. And
maybe what we can actually do is to organize distribution centers for people, and you know, so that you could actually be helping people to, you know, to discover themselves and give them training, teachings, seminars, live training, coaching, and then the books with them and give them assignment, you know.
Because one of the things I read in this book says the world will be losing great stuff or great things if you are not able to discover yourself. So it's really challenging, and it's waking up something in me. So it doesn't matter where you are from.
I'm thinking of where I'm from in Nigeria. A lot of people don't even know who they are at all. Because in that country we have millions. I mean, I'm just pretty sure in Lagos, where people are just in the street, everybody just going up and down. Nobody even, some of them have not even been challenged.
So this book helped me to see that we are not supposed to be defined by our outward appearance. So what we have inside, the extent that we are able to know ourselves, have a lot to do in our generation. And this book also helps me to understand that I have to be careful of the things that I allow to come into me, because anything that comes into my mind, into my system, has a lot to do with the way I approach things or interact with people.
Very good.
So this book, in fact, I will recommend it to everybody. It's what everybody has to get.
Wow.
And it will help us to build a better society. It will help us to build a better home. And those that are wanting to go into business, it's even a good foundation for you. Because if you're able to get the stuff in this book, I think it will help you a lot and make you to make money that you are struggling to get.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good.
Okay, I'm gonna give my testimony very briefly about what I got from this book specifically. I'm gonna say there are 3 parts that really are helping me out and are changing my vision and my life, which is how to define who am I. That's one of the things. The other thing is how to work much better and more effectively with the belief systems, the belief and value systems, because that is very important. There are beliefs, positive beliefs and negative beliefs, but most of the people tend to think more in the negative realm than in the positive realm. I don't know why, but I think it's because we are lack of commitment. But when we really know that, we are going to be more able to think positively and act more positively. And the other part is how to treat complexes. Humanity is full of complexes, but we don't understand that. And sometimes, I'm going to say most of the times, we don't recognize that. That's part of the the rich information that is given in this book by Pastor Sunday. I have found this book so important to read it and to assimilate it, that in one of my seminars going on, and I had to suspend it while I am here, I left this group. There are more than 25 people reading this book specifically.
Wow.
Right? I haven't finished the reading over there, but I told them this is a very good book and you have to read it while I am away. And there are other people, I have several people in the States that they call me to, for certain kind of counseling in terms of finances and that kind of stuff. And I have given them The Money Won't Make You Rich and this book as well, because are the books I've been reading, and I'm reading more and I'm getting more knowledgeable about what you have written, because my experience from other books, other authors, is that in this case, it resounds really a lot with me, because we are talking about principles.
Amen.
People don't think, and don't live with principles. And I think that the weaknesses in our world. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. For me, I'd say it's a book for everyone, and if a person hasn't discovered their purpose, if they don't know who they are, it's a good place to start. And if somebody's already running and doing things, coming back to this book or coming back to this topic will help you reorganize your life to become more productive. Will help you reorganize your life so that you become more productive. Yes. If a person, many people are out there doing jobs, doing things they're not called for. One of the things that Pastor says in the book is that until you find who you are, until you find your gifts, you'll remain poor. You can only excel in the area that you've been created for. So, so you can come to this book. There are lots of exercises, which I haven't been able to go through, because I've got it on the Kindle, so you can get it on the Kindle as well. So I'm looking forward to going through the exercises to get more benefit from the book. What I also found quite helpful were the stories, because sometimes, okay, for instance, you might think you know who you are, you might know that you might have found an aspect of your purpose, but what I found was it helped me fine-tune. It helped me refocus or fine-tune some walk in alignment or get better alignment with who I am and what my purpose is. And the stories were so helpful. Pastor put a lot of biographies in there, because for me, it's the stories that were quite helpful, the entrepreneurial ones, because people so the entrepreneurial stories were more helpful for me, because I could see how there were two particular people, how they traced their journey. Because sometimes you want to do something, but you haven't seen anyone do it. So when you read a story, the steps they took, the blunders that happened, then you're able, okay, they did this, they did this.
Like models, right?
Yes, yes. So that I found very, very valuable. And what I also did was, I was reading it, I wasn't reading it in those three parts. I wasn't reading it like that. I was reading it to, okay, what don't I know? You know, so I was picking up bits which I have, principles that I wasn't already applying in my life. And what I'd say is that this book will make you highly effective if you pick up, if there are loads of principles in there, that if you pick them out and begin to apply them to your life, they will make you a highly effective person. And I would also say that, you know, from coming here, one of the things that's happening to me on the inside is I'm becoming a highly effective person. Thank you.
And that is what this whole thing, HMT, is set out to do, to make you more organized and more effective. All right. Do you want to go to the code before we start the classes? Or you are fine? Very fine now? So we can just keep on going? Yes, sir. Or you need the refreshment? Can I just walk around here? Okay, let's start. Code is better. Okay, who wants to go to the code can go. Who wants to remain can remain. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, let's go to the code. Pastor, sufficient. Go and talk to the microphone. That's it,
Держусь.
Да, нам надо как-то пообщаться, найти время.
Было бы здорово.
Just a very brief break.
Спасибо.
1 to 2 minutes. People need to walk around before we start the wonderful topic for today. As you can see, all the while, people have been talking about what they learned from the book, Who Am I? People have been talking about what they learned from the book, Who Am I? We've not said the topic for today. It's going to be an awesome time with Pastor today. I can promise you that. So stay put. If you need to walk around too and do some stretching as they are stretching here, you can do that. And share the link. Invite your friends. Let them know that in the next few minutes, Pastor is going to be back on to teach the topic of today. And it's going to be very amazing. Would I use that word amazing? Promising? Educative? Great? Awesome? Whatever you want to classify it, but it's going to be an information you will need for life. So the book we've been talking about since, it's Who Am I? As for me, being a pastor, and I've been talking to youth for some time, most of the major question people have is how to discover who they are. You know, they will tell you, I've read a lot of books on purpose, but I seem not to understand. I don't know my purpose. I don't know what to do. I don't know my calling. I've not found myself. If you're in that situation and you're struggling to actually discover who you are, you've read a lot of books and you've not been able to get that across, you've not settled out with yourself yet, you're still doing different things here and there, but you're not convinced of what your purpose is, or you don't know how to go about it, this is the book for you. But if you've also discovered who you are provincially, but you don't know how to help others do so, this is also the book for you. When you read this book, you'll be able to help every other person discover who they are. So it's a book for you. You could get it on Amazon. For those in Africa, Nigeria to be specific, you can get it on okadabooks.com. So that's the book, you know, they've been discussing. It's not just that people want to talk, but the book has been an amazing one. I have read the book. It's good for everyone. So today, as the people will go in to sit down, we are going to go in straight into the HMT teaching. So you could alert your friends. If there are some people that have been online and they left, let them know that in 2 minutes, the teaching will be starting proper for HMT, and you don't want to miss that section. It's going to be an awesome time with Pastor. It's a topic you will want to hear about. It's a topic you want to know. It's a topic you will need to run your race in life. I can promise you that. So, stay put with us for this period that Pastor is going to be teaching this series. HMT, for the first time, these major teachings are being streamed. So you're actually having this thing free at the comfort of your house. This is what people paid from different parts of the world. So be part of in Ukraine, and Pastor is giving it to you on the platter of God. The only thing we are asking of you to do now is to share the link, invite your friends so other people could actually benefit from it as you are benefiting from it now. You have to take advantage of this opportunity and join us live to benefit from this awesome time in HMT. And I bet you will never regret you did, because the information you're going to be getting from this teaching, I don't really know where you would have gotten the same information. Guys, we are live. They need to hear me. Thank you. So I don't know where you could get such informations from, basically. Very few people might have access to those informations. That's if they do, like I said yesterday, most times we pay huge amounts of money for different seminars, and we don't get quarter of what we are actually looking for from those seminars. But here, Pastor is packing so much information for us. And guess what? It's free of charge. So all you need to do is to sit down, concentrate, reduce distraction, and get everything you need to get. If I were you, I would take my notebook and record. So, yeah, Pastor, I think we're ready. Please sit down and get ready. Pastor is about teaching now. Oh, sorry, you have that.
Tell him to put something on top.
What is that?
Pin it to the top. So this is the first one that is on top. You know,
Someone can sit here, for example. Anybody wants to go?
okay. Put on the teaching. Why is the microphone is going to read today? Huh? Who wants to be reading? Who has the big voice? You can read. Okay, you have to sit in front then. Or there or here. But your voice sometimes could be low. So, but this time it has to be big and loud. That's what we need now. Okay, you put off the light. Is it off already? Okay. Yes, please.
Right. The most important principle to accomplish your goal.
Right. So that's the topic for today. What is the most important principle that will help you attain or accomplish your goal?
Number one, never base your decisions on your limited resources. Even if you don't have anything, you can fulfill any dream. If you cannot see the solution, it means you've not found it in your head yet. Never leave your dream just because you think you do not have something to start fulfilling it.
Okay. Now, there are a few principles here that you need to get. The most important truth here is never base decision on your limited resources. Never come to the conclusion that you cannot do something or you cannot attain any goal or something is impossible. Why do we normally think that something is impossible for us to do or we cannot do something? It's mainly based on the fact that we think I don't have one resource or the other. Well, the fact that you don't have a resource or you don't have one thing or the other is not an argument as far as I'm concerned. Nothing is strong enough to stop you from fulfilling your goal or vision. And especially when you are thinking that it's just for lack of the resource that you think you cannot accomplish your goal, that is just because it's because of what you don't know. Lack of resource is not an argument strong enough for you not to fulfill your goal. And the reason why you think that lack of resource is an argument strong enough is because of limitation of your mind. It's because of what you don't know. So that's why we're saying, if you don't have anything you can, if you think that you cannot do, I mean, so even if you don't have anything, you can fulfill any dream. Now stop and ponder on that. Even if you don't have anything, you can still fulfill your dream. Who was here yesterday when I spoke about systems? And I said, even if you don't have anything, you only have you. Even if you are the only resource, you can still fulfill your goal. For you now, that begins to make sense. But for it to really make sense, you need to connect what I taught yesterday and this statement. You need to connect the two together, because then you have to remember the picture that I said, okay, assuming even you don't have God and you are just by yourself, but you already have one resource, which is time, and you have yourself, that is enough for you to attain any goal. So you have to go back to what we taught and say, oh yeah, there is nothing that should stop you from attaining any goal. It depends on what you understand, what your understanding is. So then it says, if you cannot see the solution, so if you have a goal or have a task ahead of you and you are saying, I can't see any solution, I can't see the way forward, either because you don't have connections or you don't have money, and you think you have an argument, you think you have an excuse, because I don't have money, I don't have connection. It is still not the lack of money that's to blame. It is still not lack of the connection that is to blame. The only thing to blame is that there is something you don't know. There are some tricks, some understanding, some insight that you don't have. That is why you are struggling. If you cannot see the solution, it means you have not found it in your head. You don't have understanding. There is no limitation in life apart from the limitation of the mind. The only limitation you have in life is the limitation of your mind. What you know and what you don't know. What you understand and what you don't understand. So, conclusion, therefore, never leave your dream. Never abandon your dream just because you think you do not have something to fulfill it. That is not an argument. Go look for knowledge. Go look for insight. And insight, understanding, dream will attract everything else. The goal, understanding, insight will attract the money, the resource, and every other thing. Go ahead. Much than critical.
You will never have everything necessary to fulfill your dream. Never base your decisions depending on what you have at the moment. Whatever you have, it will never be enough to fulfill your dream.
Okay, this is the second truth you must know in fulfilling your goals and dreams. Just assume ahead of time, and this is for everybody. If you say, okay, I don't have enough resources to do what I need to do, that is just, you are in a good company. That is just the way it's supposed to be. And that is the way it is for everybody. No human being ever has all that they need to fulfill their dream at the very beginning of that dream. Nobody starts out with ready-made provision. It never happens. It's an illusion to think like that. But sometimes that's what we want to think. That is what we are expecting. We are expecting for everything to be ready, for every provision to be there, for every resource to be available. Then I'll be ready to go and do it. It doesn't happen. God just makes it to happen like that. That you will not have everything. You will never ever have everything ready. And the reason why is because you need to depend on God. You need to be able to trust God. You need to be able to have faith. You know, a lot of other factors why you will not have everything ready just right now. So you will not have everything ready. So my question is there anybody here that wants to do anything, but you don't really have everything you need ready yet? Yes. You are in good company. That is where it starts. That is normal. That's the way it's supposed to be. Don't be scared because of that. Don't let that scare you. Don't let that think don't let that make you think that then is an excuse why you should not do it, because no. Everybody that have done anything, they all started from the same place where they never had enough resources or any resource to do what they want to do. At least you will never have everything you need to accomplish your goal. But you have to start first with whatever you have. Even if whatever you have is just you, or your knowledge, or your skill. But you have to start first with what you have before everything else comes. So that's normal. Don't stop because you don't have everything you need for the fulfillment right now. Next point.
Number 3, desire in your heart. If God gives a desire, a vision in your heart, it is a sign that this matter has been completed before God.
So if you don't have any reasons to accomplish the dream and the goal, what then makes you to know that you can even begin to start in the first place, to move ahead? At least desire. If you have as little as desire, but if you have more than desire, you have passion, wow, you are so equipped. You are already rich. If you have more than desire and you have willingness, wow, you are a big guy. If you have more than desire and you have, burden, ooh, that is huge. But even if what you have is as little, as small, as just desire, that's enough for you to be able to do anything you want in life. I don't know if you got that. Okay, let's go.
Number 4, when God gives a vision, He simultaneously releases necessary resources.
So if that desire is already in your heart, don't worry. The resource is already released somewhere. The only difference is it's not released to your hands, but it's already released somewhere. Every time God releases a vision or a word or a goal or a dream from heaven, at the same time, simultaneously, He releases the resource that is necessary to accomplish that dream, but He doesn't release them in one hand. So you are thinking that there is no resource, but it is released, but it's not released in your hand. For example, God is saying, go and restore Nigeria. Go and, bring national transformation. I have the vision. At the same time He's releasing that vision, He's releasing a resource in somebody's else's hands that I don't even know yet. Or that I know, but I don't know. But somebody's He releases the two. So if God is telling you right now, go minister to the youth and to the young girls in your city or in your country, and you are saying, but I don't have anybody to help me, no connection. He has released that same body on another person's hand with all other resources and connection and everything that you need. Only they are scattered. So that's why you need to share the vision. You need to begin to talk about what you want to do. You need to raise your voice about it. You need to so that other people who are having similar burden and to whom the resources have been released or the body have been released, they will connect with you. You all come together. But it's released at the same time. The vision and the provision are released at the same time, only in different hands. I don't know if you are getting it. Okay, let's go.
Process. Number 1.
So how is that done? Let's go through the process. How to connect between the vision and the provision.
Number 1, define the task or goal. 2.
Wait. So what you need to do, how do you go from you having a desire or a burden or a vision to finding the resources to accomplishing it? Okay, I have a desire to do something. How do I move from here to bringing it to pass? I just have an idea. How do I move from idea to implementation, to really actualization? Or I have just the passion. How does the passion becomes manifestation? I don't have the resource. How do I get the resource? I know that. How do I? So that is the process. Let's go through the process now. So the first thing you must do is that's your passion or that's your desire. You must convert it into a concrete goal, a concrete task, or a concrete vision. So that's your desire. Package it, convert it into a specific assignment, agenda, purpose, goal, mission, task. Define it. Define that passion. Give definition to that desire. Make it concrete. Number 2.
Number 2, define the preliminary time limits.
Just like yesterday, I told you yesterday, tell yourself or answer the question, between what time and what time do I want this to be accomplished? Okay, if my desire is to reach out to the girls in Dublin or in Ireland, I want to be able to reach out to at least 100 of them. Do I want to do that for the rest of my life, to spend 40 years of my life trying to get 100 of them? Or I want to get 100 within a year or within a month. So find a time limit for the passion and for the desire that you have in your heart. Next point.
Number 3, conduct a detailed research of the matter and topic.
So now that you have defined the assignment and the task that you want to do, and now that you have defined the time limit or the scope of the time that you want to do it, now go to work. Go to work. Where do you go to work? Go to work on the subject matter. You have the definition. You know what you want to do. Go just on Google. Girls in Norway, in Dublin. What are their problems? What are their challenges? Why do they behave like this? Just go on research. Google is now available. You don't need to go to the library or anything. Just go to your computer, so research everything, and make sure that you get to the bottom of the matter. Make sure that you research and get all information about that subject matter, everything that has ever been written, everything that could be dug out, go and dig them out. And make sure that you are well informed. And you become a master of the trade. You know exactly what you are talking about. You know the subject matter. So you know what they need and you know what you could do to help them. Yes, please.
Number 4, write out a step-by-step detailed system to reach your goal.
Okay, now that you know all this information about this problem, let's say the problem about women, about girls in Dublin. Now you say, okay, now you have all the information. Then you put them in a systematic way. You say, okay, there are 350,000 girls between the age of 18 and 25 in Denmark. And 10% of them have this problem. 20% of them have this problem. 30% of them have this problem or that. Where do we find them? They are all normally in the pub, or they are normally in the discotheque, or they are on weekends here, or they are somewhere. 20% of them are in schools, 30% of them are in colleges, and this is where they could be found. Okay, what are the things that interest them? How can I reach out to them? What do they like to talk about? This. So you create a system about that problem. You put them in concrete, like I showed you yesterday. I already showed you yesterday how to build system. So build system around that subject and around that problem. Yes.
The study conducted on students in a Harvard MBA program. The students were asked, have you set clear written goals for your future and made plans to accomplish them? it was recorded that only 3% of the graduates had reading goals and plans. 13% had goals, but they were not in writing. And a whopping 84% had no specific goals at all.
Okay, I'm sure you, all of you are familiar with this information, right? Okay, so this is an information about, you know, maybe it's Harvard, maybe it's not true, or it's not true. But the fact is, we want to just say that normally, this is what is normally attainable in most people's, in most places. Only 3% of people have their vision, goals, aspirations written down. 3%. Then 13% of those people have their goals in their mind, but they don't have it written down. 3% have it written down. Even in our place now, where we are now, maybe 3% have written it down. Maybe they have not even written it down. But the ones that are really good, 3% are the ones who have it cemented, written down, unless they have been trained. Otherwise, about 13%, they have a goal in their mind. So only 3 plus 13, 16% have goals at all, have concrete goals and mission. 16%. And 84%, they don't even have any goal or any vision. They are just going to school. And this is Harvard. Harvard is where the best go to. So they think, and the reason is because they are thinking about admission. I just did admission, and I got a good admission. I got admission to the best school. And their thinking is, as soon as I finish this school, as long as I finish, I'll get a job. So it's about a job. It's not about creating their own lives. It's not about being the owner of life. You see, what I spoke about yesterday, there are people who are just surviving. They don't even go to Harvard. They don't even strive for anything. Then there are some people who know that, oh, you are supposed to strive for, they know some principles. So even from those people who know some principles, they are in Harvard. But then they're still thinking about getting a job and getting a good salary. And that is not life. But the people who are really alive, who are in charge of life, who are the drivers, who are what do we call it, who are in control, who are managing life, who rule over life, who are steering lives, that's the highest level of people. And those people are the people who don't just have some aspirations and dreams in their mind, but they are the people who have concrete, written down vision, mission, goals, and strategies to get there. Many people, you know, most people in the world, they might even have an idea that they want to become something, but they don't have strategies of how to become whoever they want to become written down. Not just the dream in their written down, but strategies of getting there. And that's where we are going to with you. So to be able to actually be in the top 3% of the world that don't just have some vision and aspiration, but have strategies on how to become and get there. So you are, even if you have just that, you are already going from 84% of the world to 3%. Yes.
And this thing is MBA, not even first.
This is not even first degree. This is MBA.
10 years later, the findings were as follows. 13% of students who had goals were earning, on average, twice as much as the 84% who had no goals at all.
So even though this 13% that we are talking about, they didn't even write it down. They didn't even write the goals down, but still look at the result. They were earning twice. So we are looking at those people and say, my son is a good something, graduate, is finished, immediately he finished, he got a good job, and oh, he's in top managerial in a bank, he's a manager in a bank, or he's in a good place, oh, he's going really good. We are praising them, we are thinking they are doing really good, because he has a vision. Oh, he already knew what he wanted from secondary school. Oh, he's finding very passionate. Oh, he studied very well. He's really, these are the people we talk good about. Oh, I didn't just get a job. Oh, he's very top. He's going, he's doing, we are praising him. He's a champion. Those are the people we really meet. The 13%. Those people who get it going for them, who have a vision, who we don't see them normally. We hardly see this 13%. And we think they are doing well. And they are doing well. They're getting more. But you see, the whole world is measuring people by their earnings. The whole world is measuring people by what they earn. Oh, wow. You got that job? Wow. How much? 10,000 a month? Wow. And that is the height of everybody's aspiration. Wow. That kind of job. Wow, you are lucky. Wow. How can I get there? Is there any way to get there? That's what we are thinking. That's the highest life. And that is the highest living. Because those people have aspirations. They have dreams. They have goals. They have passion. But that's just 13% of people. These are the out of the trained ones. Or these are the good ones. These are the prepared ones. If you are talking about just ordinary secondary school graduates or university graduates, you don't even have that number. You don't even have 13%. But even this 13%, I want to tell you, for me, is failure. Because this is 13% out of people, out of ordinary people who are just living regular life. Now, this 13%, there are no more biomasses. They are successful people. But if you just want to be successful, that's good for you. But we are not just here about being successful. We are about ruling and reigning in life. We are about managing life, being in charge of life, and being able to control life. And if that is the height you want to go to, then it's not just good for you. It's not good enough for you to get a good job and a good paying salary. It's not good enough for you just to have some aspirations and some visions. We are now talking about you being able to picture the future that you want. Not just have it written down, but explicitly explained. The path to it charted out. And 75% of the plans and the way to get there is already written down. Then you become in the top 3% of the best people in the world. But most people get satisfied at the stage of getting good pay, good salary, and being higher than their mates. If that's what you want, good job, good salary, but be a slave forever. Good for you, but I don't think it's good enough for the kingdom. Let's continue.
Number 5, look for the experience of other people.
Let's go back to where we were. Read that again before we continue. Yes.
10 years later, the findings were as follows. 13% of students who had goals were earning on average twice as much as the 84% who had no goals at all.
You got that right, yes? Okay, then let's see what happens to the 3%.
3% of students who had clear written goals were earning on average.
Now, what is the difference between 13% and 3%?
They had written goals.
Huh?
Clear written goals.
No, I can't hear. Of course, not just the goal. The word is goal, written goal. But what that really means is the charted path, systematic way. The goals are written, but that is not even the big thing. But what we told you yesterday, how to go from the goal to achieving it. Systems. That is the big deal. Not just saying, okay, I want to become a lawyer, I that, I want that. That's why it doesn't do anything. But the system. So what now? What is the immediate result we see? Pardon me, what is the immediate result we see out of that for those 3% who had their goal well written down?
3% of students who had clear written goals were earning on average 10 times as much as the other 97% put together.
Can you see? Just in salary alone. But we are not even talking about the destiny they attain. And we're not even talking about the fact that they are the ones who control and rule in life eventually. But just not even talk about reward, external reward alone. They are getting 10 times higher. You see, the ones who had vision, just had vision and aspiration, they were having 2 times higher than the 4%. But the ones who had everything shuttered out, they are having 10 times more than both of them. Both the 13% and the 87%. Yes. So you cannot emphasize enough the role of systems. Go ahead, please.
Number 5, for the experience of other people, you must find... Look for the experience of other people. You must find all those who have...
So after building systems, so you remember we are going through a process of, going from just having desire to having everything accomplished. So we have mentioned a few points, and the last point we mentioned was that build a system. Now, do a research, build a system. After the research and after the system, then we started by saying, give it a definition what you want. Then we went and say, give it a time limit. Then we said, go and do a research. Then we said, go and build a system for it. Then after that system now, the next thing you are going to do, look for people who have done it before or who have done similar things. That is the next point. Go and look for the experience of people who have been there before. They are all over the world. If you want to become a billionaire, for example, there are a lot of people who have become millionaires before. If you want to become a musical director, for example, there are a lot of people who have become musical directors before. If you want to become a producer, there are a lot of people who have become producers before. Go study at least 100 to 1,000 of them, as many as you can get. Get all their secrets and make them your own. Make those secrets become your own secrets. By the time you combine the secret of Donald Trump and the secret of Bill Gates and the secret of Warren Buffett, 3 secrets in one person, you're already making yourself a place for yourself. Yep. Next point.
Number 6, write out a detailed plan. Use the following: brainstorm, teamwork, a written out step-by-step process, business plan, and calculations.
Okay, so once you have studied what makes those people tick, and once you have studied their secrets, put all those secrets, all those information you've gathered, from other people, the lessons and the secrets, put them together and, analyze, organize a brainstorming session for yourself or for your team members or for your friends. Sit down together with them and say, okay, how can we apply this? How can we apply this? This is what this person did. This is what that person did. Which one will go for us better? That's what you do. You even do that brainstorming for yourself to be able to come to the right, the best conclusions. Number 2, build a team. And always use brainstorming as a method of working with your team. Next point you do. Number 3, always have goals cut to step by step something. One stage by stage. This is what you want to do for the first 1 month, or for the first 1 quarter, for the first 1 year, for the first 5 years, for the first 10 years, or something like step by step. Then submit them and reduce them to business plans with figures. Always make use of figures, calculations, statistics. Let 2 plus 2 be 4. If 2 plus 2 is becoming 5, you are in trouble. Next point.
Number 7, make a model, a prototype, a breadboard model. Solve the problem in a small scale.
What does that mean? For example, you want to do you want to build 200 orphanages, a system, a holistic system of resolving orphanage problem, homeless problem, or problem for fatherless children. But you cannot start with 200. Start with little one in your house or somewhere. Start to build a model. Just like we have to have a model for the car before we do them on series, I'll produce them in series. Just anything you plan to do, start it out in a small scale first. It's just like this, my daily broadcast. You know what I started to do first? Just took the camera. Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Sunday here. Go show them my house. Go show them just try things out first. You know, do a prototype. Always start with a model. Create a model. Create a module, a prototype, and then you duplicate. It will be easier to duplicate after that. Next point.
Number 8, make presentation materials. Information, indicate the problem, number 1. Number 2, demonstrate the model. Number 3, describe advantages and budget.
Okay, what does that mean? Now that you have a module or a prototype or miniature of what you want to do, package it in a presentable way. Make presentation of it, and so that you'll be able to sell yourself. You remember I told you that the vision that God gave you, when he gave you that vision or that burden, he released the resources, but those resources are in the hands of other people. He also released co-workers and people who might be able to co-work with you or have a similar passion or be able to come. You know, people who are going to connect with that vision, they are also having that same passion, burden, everything. He's living in them. But you don't know each other. You are all in different places. So that's why you need a system of publicity and a system of marketing, a system of, what do you call it? Publicity, advertisement, marketing. You need to begin to publicize your vision. Talk about yourself. Talk about your passion. So you need to package everything, explain everything. You know, so explain the problem. That's number 1. Number 2, tell them you already have a module. You know, let them know that you already have a module. You know what you're talking about. Describe, you know, the subject to them and tell them why these things must be resolved, the advantages of solving that problem, what is going to cost you. Next page. Why you need partners.
Number 9, find interested parties, philanthropists.
So after you have packaged that, either it's as a video package presentation, or it's a brochure presentation, or it's a tract presentation, or it's a PDF presentation, or any kind of presentation you want to do, then make a list. Do another research. You have to make a list of people who will be interested in that subject. This could be philanthropists, this could be NGOs, this could be enterprises, this could be businesses, this could be politicians, this could be companies, industries. Make a list like 1,000, 2,000 of different organizations or structures that might be interested in that, and just send them all those your presentations and brochures and things that you have done. Or go and publicize to them. Are you following me? Okay. Go ahead.
Number 10.
So now let's stop before you go to number 10. So are you now seeing how we are moving closer from me just having vision or goal or burden into now connecting with different people? So that is how you bring from nothing, from having nothing, just a desire, to begin to set up a whole system that is joining you with so many people all over the world, and you are already. So don't ever believe that because you don't have resources, don't ever believe that because you don't have anything, that should stop you from accomplishing any goal that you want to accomplish. But the point I'm trying to make here is that the fact that you don't have something, or something is unavailable to you, or resources are not there, is not an excuse not to do something. That if you know, it depends on what you know or what you don't know. Now I'm giving you knowledge. I'm giving you understanding how to go from having nothing into doing anything you want to do, thanks to the understanding you are now having. You are having insight. You are having understanding. You are being given instruction that you could actually do everything, despite the fact that you don't have anything at hand. Thanks to what you know. And that goes back to what I said yesterday, that you are your best resource. What you know. You have built content in yourself. You have built capacity in yourself. What is that capacity? Knowledge, insight, wisdom. That is your biggest resource. That resource will attract all other resources. Are you following? Okay, let's go now.
Number 10, PR. Spread the
Public relations. So build a public relations mechanism. Blast it. Blast it everywhere.
Spread the information about the activities of your organization.
Yes.
Number 11, bring the paperwork.
Sorry, let me talk to people who are watching us on Facebook. You know, you are learning some things now. If you have not, for you to be able to get a copy of this teaching, you need to share the link. So under the video, you see you have a share button. So go and share the button, go and share the link. If you share it, if you press the share button, then you will be able to have a copy of this teaching for yourself. So that way you'll be able to go back to it over and over again. If you don't share it, you don't get a copy of it. So go and press the share button right now so that you don't forget. Because you might want to go, this is the kind of teaching that you don't just listen to one time. You want to go over it again and again. And you might want to go and share it or press it, share it and distribute it to other people. So if you are watching by Facebook now, or even if you are here, make sure you go share the link, then you'll be able to refer back to it later on.
Number 11, bring the paperwork to God. You need to bring your paperwork, persuasions, business plan to God. God needs to see your strong desire and dedication.
What that means is that, you know, after you have done your part, you know, people say, I don't believe in miracles. I do. But you must do your part first. Do everything that depends on you. You know you have done everything humanly possible. Only after you have done everything humanly possible from your end, then you should have the conscience of going to God and say, now, God, you see, I've done my best. I've done exactly everything that could be possible. I've played my own part. Then you could know that now there is a basis for God to come forward and come forth for you and come true for you. Are you getting me? Don't just sit down without doing anything in the first place and say you are waiting for resources or you are waiting for miracle or you are waiting for... That's why a lot of our prayers are not answered. Do your best before you now begin to put everything on God's shoulder. Okay.
Number 12, prove your faith to God. You must show insane, zealous confidence in success.
Faith. And what faith means is that you are not just waiting, you didn't just pray again and waiting for God and say, okay, God, now I've prayed, I've done my part, I'm praying, I'm waiting, I'm sitting down. You must step out in faith. Faith without works is dead. So you are praying, you've handed everything over to God, step out and move, begin to do something. When you do take one step, God will take 20 steps to your sides. Yes.
Prove your ability to work. Number 13, readiness to do everything, even the impossible from your side.
So you are not just stepping out, but just being, you remember what I told you yesterday about absolute commitment, about the egg? The egg doesn't get cooked until it is absolute, 100% commitment. It has to be 100 degrees. So go and give it the best shot. Go and try your best. Work as if your life depends on it. Work as if there is no God at all on earth. As if everything depends on your work. And then trust God as if you didn't work at all. As if everything depends on God.
Number 14. Expect a miracle.
Now you are qualified for a miracle. Now you are qualified for a miracle. Now you are qualified for a miracle.
So there's a place for miracles.
Okay, can you read that?
Yeah, it is possible.
No, start from the beginning.
14, expect a miracle. It is possible only when you've done everything necessary.
So miracle is possible only
when you've done everything necessary.
Okay.
Study conducted, a system built.
So you have studied, you have built system, you have done everything from your side, you are working hard, then you can expect a miracle now. Yeah, go ahead.
Number 15, prove to God that all work has been done.
Yes.
You know everything on the subject.
Yes.
You have developed a system.
Yes. Go ahead.
Number 15. Yeah.
Again, for people who are watching us, go and press the share button to get a copy of this message. Go and share the link. That's the only way for you to get a copy. So we are finishing this subject now, and we are going to take 2 minutes break, and we are going to deal with the second subject. All right, but no, we are not going to go out. The break is going to be in testimony. So put on the light. Not 2 minutes, but maybe 10 minutes. Put on the light. And I want to hear back from you the response. I want to hear your responses. If you don't come forth, you are going to all stand. So what did you get from these subjects, from this?
What I got, I still want to refer to a Bible passage that says, my people perish because they lack knowledge.
Please open the.
Because most of us, most people start from the miracle.
Without doing anything.
Without doing anything. We start from the miracle without doing anything, and we expect things to happen. But it's not so. There are no systems in place. There's no research done. You
just want God to come out for you and
do. And
especially if you have some anointed men of God.
Yeah.
Who will say today, by the grace of before the end of this month.
Yes.
Some people will experience some miracles.
Yes.
Or you should bring the prophet offering. Sow some seed.
Yeah. And majority of people are in that boat, are in that state. So I continue to
Wahala day.
I continue to get knowledge from here every day, and I pray that we keep, those of us here that are listening, we should try as much as we can to give this out to people, to tell people that hard work pays. We have to work hard. We have to read. We have to study, especially the people of my type, my color, they should rely on study. All these are principles of God. We cannot give it out. We have to work hard so that we can achieve.
Somebody told me that when you do this, that you don't have faith.
Faith. Work. Faith will not, so.
Faith without work is dead.
No.
What I got from this this teaching is I need to work very hard. As we can see, Jesus worked very hard when he was on earth. So we as a believer, we shouldn't expect God to do everything for us. God expects us to do, and then he can come and do something for us.
Yep.
So work hard is very important in whatever we're doing or whatever you want to do. Work hard. Let God see that you are working hard. You have sleepless nights, and then God will come out for you.
Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Sunny. I think none of us have an excuse anymore achieving any goal that we want to achieve in lives.
Yes.
Everything's been written.
If
in 5 years you are in the same place you are right now, this is your own fault because you are not willing to pay the price to get to where you want to go. You expect a miracle without putting in the work.
Thank you. So no excuse. Shade, you want to join on?
Okay. I hear people saying work hard. I mean, I've worked hard, and I know a lot of people who have worked hard.
But this
and
is work smart, right?
Exactly. You know, where you work hard and there's no results because there's no system. You know, there are no rail tracks. You're working hard and you're in the same spot.
Okay.
You know, so yes, you work hard.
So what's the difference between what we spoke about today and just work hard? You are
There's
right.
a system. There's a process, and I didn't have the process, and that's what I came for. I didn't know what the process was. I knew, and maybe know a bit, but you don't even know what you're missing. You know, yeah. So I think it's working smart, not just hard. Yeah, work smart, get your system, and work it.
That's interesting. That's a very good observation. Very good observation.
One of the things I gained from this lesson is a lot of people, me specifically, because I've been doing it for such a long time, is I've always thought, oh, what's God's perfect will for me, or what's the one thing that God wants me to do, or what out of all the things that I desire, which one is God asking me to go for? And I think today I learned that just as long as God has placed a desire in you, that's enough for you to go forward with any vision or with any plan, and you can do all of them. There's not just a perfect plan. Anything that you desire can be accomplished.
Excellent. So this particular teaching, how does it communicate that thing you just said now?
You specifically said that you are the best resource. So even if you just have yourself, that's enough to do whatever you desire to do. So I think that's where it was communicated. And it's just, I thought that you could possibly only do one thing in life, but the truth is that you can do as many as long as you've got the capacity to take it.
Not to take it, you don't have to take it, to build systems for it.
Okay.
The system will take it.
Yeah.
Just take your time, build the system for it. You don't need to always rely on your own strength or your own capacity. If you will be going to rely on your own strength and capacity, it will be like what that sister said, working hard. And that's depending on your own strength. But when you build systems, you don't depend on your own strength anymore. Mechanisms, rail tracks work for you. It's like saying carrying the load. How many kilograms, how many tons will you carry on your head? But if you're using railway and you have the tracks, railway can carry tons. That's what system does. It's using railway to carry goods as against using Hausas to carry goods. Using, human beings to carry goods. Hey, Ashade, before you go, are you already regretting?
Regretting?
That you came by yourself without your husband?
I'm sure
because it's going to be tough for you to, I don't know how you are going to pass this across. I just don't know. It's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy. Even not just in one day, even in a week or even in a month. Because when you get home, a lot of distractions, and you might not have the same discipline even to be able to sit your husband down or your wife down, or this is
How have you been doing it with your wife? Maybe that would help you.
Okay.
Because she couldn't take time off.
You say, tell us.
No,
okay. You can go to
okay.
Give him the microphone.
Because my wife is not here, all the assignments that I'm doing here, the ones that I'm sending in to you guys, I'm copying in my wife in it, and I'm sending all the answers and what I've been doing to her, so she's aware of what's happening, and I'm also giving her the links.
How can she be aware just getting the assignment and the answers without the lectures?
Well, we've got the lectures recorded, and it will be given.
She's following the recordings?
Well, not only following that, but we'll also be given the full recording of all the sessions, which means, and we'll watch it again, and I'll explain everything to her as well, to make sure that we are both on the same page, that we synergize our movement to the future.
So you are communicating with her every day?
That's correct, yeah. Every day, and submitting my assignment, I make sure that she knows what I've done, and I send my notes to her as well. So she's got a quick understanding, but the full explanation will come as going through when I go back.
So you don't just send the assignment then, and you don't just send the answer and the question, but you are sending your notes as
That's
well.
correct, yeah, the notes, the questions, and the answers.
Ah, very good. And then you have the videos.
And the Facebook as well, yeah.
Okay. You got it? Was that helpful? Yes. Okay. So, okay. Let's say if you are at home and on Facebook or watching, just for you to know that we care about you as well, make sure you first of all share those and get a copy for yourself, and then the people here who are going through this HMT might be able to help you somehow if you can connect with them, they might give you the other materials after all. So we have the second class. The second teaching today is going to be called Make Your Goals Clear for Achievement. Make your goals clear for achievement. Because you people say you came here to learn to function effectively, to learn to really attain goals and make things happen. Okay, rather than just preaching.
Exactly.
But how to actually make things happen.
Make your goals clear for achievements.
Next point.
Setting goals is not enough. Establish clear ways to achieve them. The most important part in setting a goal is its achievements.
Because if you're not going to achieve them, what is the good in you setting them up? Okay.
The necessary steps to set a clear goal.
Step by step. We're going to be giving you step by step steps. Okay. Go ahead.
Number 1, make a clear description of your dream, goal, and desire.
You already know how to do that, right? Okay. Now, stop. Now what we are going to do is I'm going to ask you, one of you or two of you, to come and describe the importance of goal setting from this same story of the Harvard students. So put on the light, and we will need 1 or 2 or maybe 3 of you to tell. We're not going to repeat them, but we want you to come and repeat, because I've already said that in the previous class, and I'm intentionally repeating that here so that I would know what is your catch, what you got from that. What are the key principles from that story, the Harvard MBA student story, in goal setting that help them to what makes the difference in them? Those are 3 groups of people who want to help us. Please come. I need 3 people. 3 people. Rise. 1, 2, 3. Who is the first person? Otherwise, I will ask all of you to stand now.
Yes, I've realized from that there is something magical about...
Make your microphone this way.
There's something magical about setting goals and having a system in place. Because the 3% that had a clear goal set up with a system to implement.
Don't just start by saying the 3%. Tell us as if we've never heard the story before. So, start from 100%.
Okay, so this research was conducted on MBA students
now that's good.
Harvard
That's
University. And out of the total, only 3% had a clear written down goals with a system to achieve. 13% had goals, however, they didn't have it written down. And then the majority, 84%, had no clue. They didn't have any goals. So their aim was to go through the course, graduate, have their masters, and then go and look for a job.
Is that the way it is in real life?
I think it's a representative of what real life is about. Yeah. Yeah, I will support that. I will concur with that, because this was done with students who we will all expect to have goals set and then have a system to implement, because they are in a top university in the world, And MBA is, top of all the highly sought after courses at universities. So we can guess what will happen to the average person who doesn't go to university. So I think it's at worst we can say it is a good representative.
Okay.
So looking at, I don't know, but from my understanding, I think those 3% were better. They were happier, they were more fulfilled. But if we are looking at objective, measurable things, I think earnings, was what was used. And in terms of earnings, the 13% who had written down their goals were earning two times those who didn't have their goals written down.
Maybe not necessarily wrote them down, but they at least had them. They had these goals, the aspirations. Yeah, they were earning twice. Yes.
But the 3% who had written down their goals with a system to
achievable goals.
Yeah, they were able to attain 10 times that of those who didn't have their goals.
Okay. But then you have to emphasize to us, what are the importance? What are the deficiencies? What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages in each? Why those differences in results?
Okay, we've heard about the 3 segments, the 84, the 13, and the 3%. Now, just to go back to what we have used, or prior to coming here, I probably will definitely be in the 84%, which means you had the desire, you've heard, but didn't take down much notes. As much as you think you have retained, by the time it comes to getting back to implementation, things are not as, one, you will not even have the passion which you had at the point in time. So
closer, your microphone closer. Yeah.
So things, you're not as hot by the time you want to even put things down. And if you try to make the effort, you're not going to get everything down. The 13% that noted things were successful in every term without really knowing that we are supposed to be sons of men on earth as to, get proper breakthrough. So in terms of worldly things, we'll say, yes, they were successful, but they did make some effort. Talking about the 3%, which is what by this time we are all at that point, they understood systems. They talked about achievable goals, wrote it down, linked it to timing. So it's not just about so that we'll have checks and balances. We are making ourselves really accountable.
Those are the things we call systems, right?
So whether I'm talking about in 6 months, I want to start making a 5-digit number, I'm linking it one to time, and whatever project it is, I'm going to be multiplying things or dividing things to check in 1 month, what will I be able to achieve? So that within 6 months, will I actually get my 5-figure? So looking at it from today, I should be able to know things may be adjusted, but I have planned them.
Okay. Where then do you put church members in all this? Or they just fall off the chart? The Christians who just go to church to pray and believe God for miracles.
Well, I think we all have a job now to do, because we love ourselves and we love the congregations, and so the things we are taking away from here as much as possible, we are going to disseminate and hope that people, we all desire to really make it, and so just to help others to see how they can improve themselves. But I'm just hoping and praying that as many of us that are here today will be able to check each other and make sure that we will all get there, having a proper breakthrough financially.
Please stand. Let's take a step. What is happening then in the churches? How do you bring this What have churches been doing? That's what I want to say.
Lots of the pastors actually, they don't understand that they don't even. Most of them, they don't even work. A lot of them don't work apart from just the church, and the church might not be even big. There might just be 30 people, or
So
the
they
church
have
is
to
their
live
work.
at the mercy of the offerings
Yes,
and
gifts or gifts. I don't know. Sometimes the church might give them one or two things. So if the pastors don't still understand the purpose of hard work and working hard and working smart, he won't be comfortable to preach that in the pulpit because he's not practicing it himself. So how do we get the pastors to practice working hard, working smart, working with systems, processes of...
So this is a long way.
It's the top. Majority of the top ones are not working hard, they're not working smart, they're not working with systems, they don't understand it. And a lot of them as well don't even know their purpose.
You are from Nigeria, I'm from Nigeria. With the way Nigerians are, if they had been taught like this, those people are going to sleep in churches. They are going to go to churches every day of their lives. They are even sleeping there, some of them. Some of them are so committed. They'll be going to one church for 10 years. Some of them are going to one church for 15, 20 years.
Yes.
Can you imagine if the right things are being taught to them like this?
Yeah, the Nigeria, I would say, the pastors, basically, they've succeeded in gathering the crowd, the Christians, they've succeeded in gathering the crowd, which is good. It is not the next stage, which is to begin to change the values of those crowd that has been gathered as Christians. So it's not like they've not done anything. They have the crowd. If you have 80 million Christians, there's nothing you can, and you begin to change their value systems. You begin to teach them the right principles. There's nothing that cannot be changed in Nigeria.
So we can actually change that country.
Yes, we can.
If that big crowd is well instructed.
Yes. The big crowd is the best advantage we have there.
Pastor, that is why I said, let's give these things to pastors. Because in Nigeria, pastors have...
They are not hearing you on this something. That is why you said what?
And that's why I said, if we get who am I to pastors, because they seem to be everything. Majority of Nigerians really listen to pastors. So if the pastors are convinced, they read it and appreciate it. Once they recommend it in the church from the pulpit, that's it.
So
in fact, Amazon will not be able to supply the books.
You mean to say that people might be going to church for 10 years and not get this kind of information?
Let others speak for me. I'm sure.
20?
Yes, all their life. Some people still want more church. If church is 3 times a week, they want it to be daily. I don't know if I'm the only one.
I've often times, reiterated and said it that, as opposed to, and I'm not saying we're condemning pastors, it's just the reality.
No, I'm just looking at the potential.
But the thing is, the best way to succeed in this is to get pastors involved and reorientate pastors and make them feel appreciated first, because like Sister Tega said, it's not that they've not been doing anything. Ability to even gather crowd, we should celebrate them for that. And a lot of pastors are stranded because they don't have this information. If they have what we have, they will run with it. Are you getting me? A lot of this I didn't know as a pastor. Praise God. But if a lot of pastors can be helped to be involved, as opposed to, don't let me use the word attacked, then the result is going to be phenomenal.
How do we do that?
It's going to be phenomenal. Number one, by appreciating them and, celebrating the fact that you've come this far, you've done well, but there is a next level.
Do you have a burden?
I have a burden for pastors.
Maybe we should. Yeah. Maybe you people should begin to plan out how to help people.
Yeah, if we can stop the attack first, and
Why
then,
do you say attack?
No,
Nobody is attacking.
No, what I mean is not that. In the sense that maybe we're making them feel like what they've not been helping the congregation. It's because the level
but
they're
if
at
you don't
is
acknowledge
alpha.
that, what you call attack, if you don't acknowledge the problem, there is no way you can provide solution. So the fact that people are identifying the problem and the fact that they are calling the problem the way it is, that doesn't mean attack.
No. I'm just working with the system. But I'm using the system. If you appreciate somebody, and then it's easier for you to get them on board. If you congratulate them for what they've done and release this. Many of them don't have, I don't know how many. I think a lot of them are now getting on board through Facebook. I can say that because a lot of my friends, pastors, are on that platform. And so things would definitely change. Praise God.
But for example, for example, if I'm living my life by what I know, and I think I'm trying my best, if you don't tell me that there is something else out there that I'm not doing, or that I'm doing wrong, I will not even know I'm not doing something. I'm not doing anything wrong. I just think I'm pastoring. But until somebody comes to tell me that no, there are some things you are not doing, or there are some things that could be done. Even though you appreciate me, you can appreciate me all you want, but if you don't tell me that there are things to be done differently, there is no way I will know. So we shouldn't let pastors think that they are being attacked just by things being raised. It brings awareness. Oh, so there is something I don't know. Oh, you mean there are things that could be done differently? Then it stirs in me rather the desire to find out what is it. So it could be found out different ways, both by appreciating and also by raising their awareness.
Exactly, raising their awareness and then bringing them on board.
Yes,
like
yes.
You don't do what you don't know. Like you said, in those messages and teachings about don't work for Uncle Sam. You told us how you actually became a millionaire within 8 months. 9 months. In 9 months. You didn't know you could be there until you read that particular book, and you felt he's not even a Christian, and I can do better than this. But you didn't know you could be until you came in contact with that. So they don't know they can, transform lives because they don't have what you've got.
Because if we look at Nigeria, I'm just thinking, how many 80 million Christians? Can you imagine if we could not just make them come to church, but come to church and equip them like this? We'll change that concept. I think we'll change the whole world.
Many pastors are desperate to do that. Many pastors, they just don't know what to do.
And somebody mentioned it yesterday that they want to be doing breakfast or something for pastors or lunch.
Yeah,
for
pastors. We need to get that sorted out. And bring them into the forum and get them involved and then get them linked. And who knows, we may even organize a HMT for pastors before.
HMT yourself.
Before.
Yeah. Some people, I have Pastor Abraham Great. He prays in London. He came for HMT here. And now he said, so he goes to Nigeria twice a year to organize HMT by himself after passing through one year. Just like you are passing through.
And he's set up centers.
Yeah, he's just doing it, yes. It's by himself. So we can do the same thing. We can begin to help those pastors out. Okay.
I've worked with pastors, not necessarily in Nigeria, but in other countries. And I still have a connection of pastors in Nigeria. And I'm sure they would be willing to run with this. Because it's, as you can see, it's a vision that would help you explode your results. So I don't see who would not want that. Looking at the question you initially asked, which was about the difference in results, what I could see, and you also mentioned the church, the members of the church, what I could see is that a lot of people are living in survival mode. Yeah, people are struggling, so they're living in survival mode. So they can't even see, really beyond.
Most that way at scriptures.
Yeah, they can't really see beyond the now or whatever, and people who, and looking at the statistics, the 84, the 84%, the 84%, they're probably they're just part of the normal system. This is what you do. So the system tells you, okay, go to university, go to school. So they're just following what the system does. But as we probably know, and there's a lot of statistics about this, that the system isn't preparing you. I mean, most of the system isn't preparing you to release you as leaders or people who are fully actualized. The system has been created to create employees and people who are submitted to the system, not people whose potential will be fully realized. So you have that group of people who are being told, I mean, they go to schools, the guidance counselor tells them that this is what you are supposed to do, and then they do it. Then you have the 13%, okay, maybe they've heard, because I think a lot of this is a lack of information, and it depends on where you are and what you're listening to. So I think the 13% probably heard maybe a motivational speaker, because they talk about goals. So maybe they heard that and they knew they needed a goal. So they have a goal, they might not have written it out, but it's working in their heart and it's guiding them in a particular direction. So they achieve a bit more. They get twice the results?
Twice.
Yeah, twice the results of the other people. But then you have the third category of people. I believe that category of people are they're purpose-driven. The people who are following their hearts, wanting, maybe the radicals.
But just like you said, you are radical, you are purpose-driven, but you didn't know the skills.
Yeah, so it was a lack of knowledge. Mine was a lack of knowledge. Okay, I'd heard the motivational people say have goals. I've written my goals 10,000 times, but still not achieving it at the level that I should be achieving them. So I knew something was missing, and I've been looking and I've been observing Pastor Sunday and his results, and that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Okay, we're ready to continue. Then we can put off the light. Okay, go ahead. We already went through this.
We've done that, yeah.
Yeah. Next one. Next one.
Research. To be able to make a detailed description, you will need to conduct a research in order to find all information on your topic.
You remember, if you notice that we've always been talking about research. How many of you will also say they notice the idea of research even when you talk with people who did presentations to you or where you went to see projects? Research and systems always go hand in hand. You cannot underemphasize that. You cannot just live in your own shell with the little you know and then be thinking of changing the world. You must think research most of the time.
Number 3. Make a clear description of what you're lacking to fulfill your goal.
That's another point we have not spoken about. What are the things you are lacking?
Make this list to pray for each of the points in your prayer solitude. This could be finances, team, etc.
You see the purpose of prayer now. Prayer is to help you fulfill your goals and ambition in life. Not for God to come and do it. Okay?
Number 4. Mark road signs.
Or make road signs.
Or is it make?
Or what do you call it? What, road? Make road signs. Is it road signs? Road. Milestones or... Yeah, you understand.
Yeah. Have a brainstorm to write down 10 intermediate results, like criteria, that will show your progress towards your goal.
So, intermediate, like for example, for me to know that I have to, if I want to get 1,000 people in a year, what are the intermediate results that I need? So, those results could be every month, they could be every quarter, they could be every set season, put it. Every month I must have this result, or every 2 weeks I must have this, or every day I must have this. So when you know that every month you are attaining that result, then those intermediate results will make you to know that for sure you will come to the general result, to the eventual result. Yes?
Number 5, analyze the process of reaching the road signs. As you set the road signs, it is important to analyze if you make it to them on time.
Yes.
If necessary, introduce corrections to your activities.
That's the most important thing. As you are going, you are mentioning your progress. It's progress report. This is talking about progress report. So as you are going, you are saying, what are the things I do right? And where have I missed it a little bit? Or where is it I'm failing? So the progress reports are necessary for you to be able to measure your progress, correct, perfect your plans, and keep on moving at the pace or accelerated pace.
Number 6, break a global goal into smaller goals. Break a global into stages, intermediate goals, long-term, intermediate, short-term.
Yeah, you understand that concept.
Number 7, write out the plans for attaining the goal.
You already know how to do plans, right?
Number 8, every day do something to attain your goal.
Do something to touch your goals, right?
Touch your goal every day. Plan it in advance.
Make sure you do something. You remember how to touch your goals every day? Like we have divided everything in a day, and we say 3 people in a day or 1 person in a day. Make sure that you are doing something every day towards that goal. You remember how we divided it every day? So you are measuring your day by what you have done in regards, or that's bringing you closer to the bigger goal.
Number 9.
That's it. Okay. All right. Put on the light. Let's give the Lord a round of applause. So there is a quick one, a quick walk, a quick lesson, and now we just few more minutes, then we go for our break and before we go. So who thinks that the thing you've heard today in general, there is a way they could be applied to help you? You can see, you must be able to see that, okay, this can. I know where to use this. I can imagine this could help me. Yeah. This is a relevant thing that could help me. If anybody wants to tell us, please come and get the microphone.
Yeah, from my personal perspective and experience in terms of my professional practice and in my ministry, for instance, I've seen a lot of gaps that have, stopped me to get the most.
That's a good word, gaps.
Yeah,
that were there before, right?
Yeah, the most of my results and to apply all my capacity. I see myself as a very capable person, smart, hard worker, but sometimes I lose the focus.
Yeah.
And I think applying all this knowledge is going to help me to be more systematic and do it with discipline.
Excellent. So little gaps. Okay, next person. Otherwise, all of you will have to stand. Okay, then. Yeah.
Really.
The next one, so that you can go fast.
Concerning the goal, really, for years I've been told that goals need to be written down, and I used to write it down, and day by day I check it, but it is when I don't really know what to do with this goal. Because even they will tell you that the Bible says, make it plain. I wrote it in a plain paper. I wrote it all. Yeah, exactly. So that's why, really, most of these things we've gone through this. But it's just to know the step to be taken. How do you go about it? It's wrong just for anybody to tell you, write it on the play sheet. I've written it on the white. I wrote it on the black. But still, nothing. So I wasn't really sure of how to run with it.
I think it stems back from what Pastor was saying earlier on, where some of his friends,
Be careful.
where one of his friends told him, you know, just put a bit in the book. So you get to have, you know, a little of it, but then they don't tell you the next step. And so a lot of people get stranded, you know, as opposed to what you've done in the book where you've put, although I think a book should be produced.
Written on this.
Yes.
So really, it is very...
So it's not just the goal you write.
Yes.
It's the back of the
Exactly. How do you go about it? What are the steps to be taken, and what to do at a particular time, and what to do, what not to do. And that is what I believe, having coming to this place, is okay. I've really learned a lot, and going back home, I will do better. And I don't want us to condemn church. When we talk of the church consists of you and I. So if we say the church fails, you and I will fail. But most of the time, when we talk of the church, we look up on, oh, it is pastor, it is pastor. Pastor can only give you what they have. What the pastor has is what he's giving you. What they don't have, they can't give you. But all I know is that the pastor, they need to improve on themselves. For you to be able to lead, you should be able to, for you to be able to lead, you are leading people. So for you to be there, people are looking up onto you. People are expecting much from you. To whom much is given, much is expected. Having got into that position of position of leadership, then you should do something commensurate to that post. So I want to encourage all the pastors, please, let's just buckle up. Let's try and move on to the next level.
Instead of buying your pastor a pack of shirts and vest and whatever this Christmas period, package all these messages, buy all these books, and just give it to him as a gift. Maybe if we start with that, yeah, it's true. Who else?
Thank you very much. I think from everything that I've heard, there's going to be progress for me. I'm afraid this church thing we're talking about, I think the information the pastors, I've experienced in some places, it's about writing the list of your vision. Just like you said, Pastor, write the vision. Every morning you wake up and pray, you said, you decree that this is going to happen. Yeah? That is how it's okay. That's, like you said, that's what they know and understand. But thankfully, I keep saying it, I don't know, maybe I don't have much to say than to say, thank God for Pastor Sunday, because he's had the opportunity or the wisdom to use God's word to do a research and put things together. Now, there is a shift in paradigm. We pastors, because I'm a pastor, I preach. Yeah? I'm not a renowned pastor. I preach to people. It's part of the ministry, isn't it? Talk to people, make them understand. So I'm also going to preach at work and everywhere. So what we need to do, Pastor, I need to ask if it's possible, can we get a CD on this? Because I personally will package it as a present. I would like to package it as a present for some people, because that is going to also help the transformation process. They might not really understand everything, but sitting down and listening, yeah? Like I said, some people might not sit down and start reading. It puts them off. Some people not. You know, there is an alternative. If you don't want the book, that's fine. There is a CD. You can listen to it. You know, when you listen to it, there is something that will strike you. You'll be forced to contact Pastor Sunday. What do you mean? What is this? Can you clarify this? That will be a push. For me, it is going to be an advert so that people will understand what they need to do. Because if pastors can get this information, the church, the group that they gather is now a resource as well, based on the system that is in place. That can be used to disseminate this information and things will change.
So maybe if Deji can, Pastor was saying that Deji has it in place, where he's packaged. I think you've done the finance work.
He has only done that for finances.
Yeah, can I say something?
So yeah, so maybe because it's easier. You've got the gadgets and all the stuffs to do it. So with pastor's permission, we can actually purchase to give to pastors as gifts during this period. So maybe you give everyone a discount. Yeah.
Just to add something quickly, I have a lot of pastors already who are contacting me about your message on finances. So a lot of them are open about it. So I have a lot. I'll show you, I'll send you an email of pastors from America, UK, to even Africa that are so astounded with your messages, young pastors and old pastors, and they're buying it already. So yeah, so some will, I think some will be open to it and some won't, because there's some who are stuck in their ways. That's the truth. There's some, yeah.
But she is talking about the ones who will be willing, so
yes,
that it will be available.
Yeah, so that's fine.
It makes the journey easier. In this transformation.
No, like I was just thinking that, like all of us here, we have churches as well. We shouldn't go without picking that who am I and why am I here, and give it as a present to our pastors, because I'm going to do it as well. He needs to know. I mean, I can't. He has the pastors. They have the heart of God. They want the good of the members. They just don't have the know-how. So pick the book before we leave. Make sure we are getting it for our pastors.
But you people know that none of you answered any of the questions that I was just sitting down here, just enjoying you guys. Because you are all talking about pastors and churches. But the question I asked was, this information you put God now, today, you have seen it when you went to places. How do you see, where could you apply them in your own thing, vision, calling, where you feel, you know, Pastor Ephraim, he came and answered exactly on that. Answered my question. Then from there, we all took off.
We were just trying to help you. Because you need pastors in this transformation.
Can you see the gap? He was talking about a gap. Can you see the place where this thing, it will fit in? Like Pastor also mentioned it, that this will fit in the sense that I had always written down vision, but now, so those are the kind of, where do you see this helping you?
This is going to help me greatly in the sense that, well, in my pastoral ministry, I'm going back to basically revamp, and you know, all the goals are there, all the visions are there. The system is not there. Also, in my personal ministry, you know, in Asia and my online broadcast, I got something from here. I've been working with couples to help to basically heal their marriages and bring back their marriages. I'm going to put this system in place where all the ones that God has used me to help, I'm going to bring them on board. I didn't know I could use them as a resource because I'm the #1 resource, but I've got them, but I've just let them go. So I'm going to get them all back, and we're going to start a movement.
See wisdom.
And then we are going to,
You see wisdom. This is what we are talking about.
Yeah. And so God's given me a name for it already. So we're going to be reaching out to marriages
because that way you multiply your effect.
You
just multiply, you just go global.
So
thanks to system.
So that's what I'm going to do with the package.
Thank you. I was thinking when I was coming here that I had some visions and plans. I would just say once I come here, once I go home, I would just start running with it. But now I realize that the greater work is the preparation. You know, you have to do your 75%. You have to sit down, write everything down, do your research, fill yourself up. So I'm not just going to go home and just start running with it. The preparation stage, I need to go through it step by step.
That's what we want to hear. You know, the reason why I see people go off and sometimes I'm quiet is because I'm teaching about the nature of women these days.
Great. Thank you, sir. Just like my sister, in fact, I'm seeing that I can start something without anything in my pocket, even without having a huge...
I think most people don't even know that. Eh?
Yeah. So the most important thing for me to do is to build a system.
Yes.
Draw out a plan, the 75% and the 25% that you taught us yesterday.
Yeah.
So I believe with that and with research and looking into the lives of people that have attained the same thing that I'm wanting to do, copying from their life, listening to their testimony, see how they did it, I think it will help me to do something.
Pastor, from the first lesson,
you are almost like Michael Jackson. handsome guy, huh? He looks like me. I told him that too. His head, we have the same head structure. You could say you are my brother.
Yes, sir.
He's rubbing all on me little by little.
So, Pastor, something that shifted for me from the very first lesson was, I think, the 11th point or so, where you said we should bring our plans to God.
Yes.
Now, what we used to know is that we go to God to collect plans.
Okay.
Yeah, we just go and just see downloads. They base that on the idea that he gave Moses a blueprint.
Okay.
So we just
maybe that's the vision. You go get the vision or the idea from God, but you have to sit down and do the plan yourself.
Yes, sir.
Because Jesus said, "Sit down by yourself if you want to go ahead." So you didn't need to go to heaven to calculate.
Yes, sir. And secondly, there's this practice we grew up with that we kind of transferred into our ministries too. At the end of the year, there's this special prayer request we come in with, that we list things we want God to do for us in the following year. So just as it's about to be New Year, the pastor would gather those together and then pray over them, and then we're expectant, hoping that in the next year something would happen miraculously to make it happen for us. And then most times you find that year in, year out, people come and write the same thing. They come and write the same thing and write the same thing, and it's just not working.
Maybe instead of that now, before the New Year, this is what we're supposed to be gathering people and teaching them systems.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is exactly the missing link. So rather than just prayer request for a new year, we can have we can make the whole of December a time for training people on building systems.
Brilliant, brilliant. Okay. Pastor, who is there? Well, that's it for today. I will be back in the evening, but we have trainings this afternoon, seminars. They will tell us about it. Today is going to be another busy day. But I think we might, can we say bye-bye to people on Facebook? Yeah? Bye. So thank you so much, guys, from Facebook. And it was nice to be with you. We'll be back again in the evening at 9 o'clock. Our time is 9 o'clock. Yeah, just as usual. In the evening, we'll be doing direct, HMT direct broadcast. So see you in the evening, everybody. God bless. Bye.
So I just have 1 hour with you. Yes, and yes. And hopefully on vision, okay. And hopefully on Saturday I will have another time, another session with you. But again, I want to welcome you to Ukraine, to Kyiv, to the HMT, and I want to believe that you are happy to be here. And that you are getting some things. And when you get back home, you will revise those things, you will digest them, you will convert them. And that because that is when the real change will come. You know, it's not magic, you know. It's not magic. If we want something, we have to work for it. We have to pay the price, and we have to listen to it over and over again. You know, like we say in Christianity, the word has to become flesh. And that is not automatic. Yeah. So now I'm with you to answer your questions. If you have any question for me, if you want to know anything from my side, we've devoted this time for that. So any question, anything? General question. Yeah, general, from any angle. Pastor John, Dr. James, sorry, James.
Thank you so much, Pastor, and praise the Lord. Amen. Yeah. Now, just thinking through, how are you, I don't want to use the word, but I just want to say, how are you managing this kind of schedule, working with Pastor and with all that kind of programs that he has? How do you manage to balance?
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I mean, that's a good question, and I get that question quite often. I think it's like a natural question. I think coping is a good word, Pastor James. Managing, coping. I think I'm coping well. And of course, there's always room for improvement, and I'm always looking into that. The first thing I would like to say is that it didn't start big. It didn't start big. I didn't have to start coping with something big. It came gradually, and that was really good, and that was really helpful. And I think that's how we are wired. We are able to cope with a lot of things when they come gradually, step by step, like we say, because as humans, we are really very, I mean, we have a lot of abilities, a lot of potentials, but then we have to, I mean, we have to work with them, we have to work with timing, we have to work with our assimilation, you know, to know how much you can take at a time. But I mean, a very good point is that it didn't start big, you know. I had time to adjust. I had time to think it through, because I'm this kind of person. I'm sure some of you might have noticed I'm a little bit different from Pastor Sunday, right? Yeah, so we're a little bit of different personalities, and we respect that. I try to respect his personality, his temperament, and he tries his best to, you know, to respect my personality, who I am, and that has, to some extent, it has really been helpful. So it starts with that. Then second, which I think I've started touching, is understanding people, understanding the person you are dealing with, understanding your role in life, understanding your purpose, your calling, right? Of course, I had my questions at the beginning, and one of the questions I had was, okay, God, how do I relate to Pastor Sunday? Like, is he my husband or is he my pastor? And okay, do we have like do I keep the pastoral relationship to the church? And when we get to him, it becomes an husband. You know, I had my questions, and more so we're having kids, and I expected more help from him, which I wasn't getting enough. Yeah. But, I mean, God was helpful, and I found out that God helped me, of course, that God must have seen something, and I had to manage that very well. At least I have to relate to that very well. I have to be a wise woman in that aspect. And of course, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of changing, because you can't cope with something new with an old mentality. You know, and especially the common mentality, like what you expect from my husband, you know. I mean, real change starts from the mind, you know, the ability to look at it in a different way, the ability to look at it